special about you, man.
There's something special.
He just wants to know. He wants to
Something
be about.
special about you. Just want to know.
He wants. Yeah. He wants.
You remind me of. Wait, no, that's not politically correct anymore.
Wait,
You can't
why?
sing R. Kelly.
Oh, you can't.
No.
Why not?
Well, that's what I said. It's not politically correct to sing R. Kelly anymore because
Because of.
Well, you can do it in your own home with your own camera.
PP on the women.
Yeah.
Just going, does what he wants. He got jumped
In
Oh, I
prison.
heard.
last
yeah,
week. He got
just
jumped
recently?
in prison.
I heard
Yeah.
about that, stabbed and all that stuff.
He was mad at someone, or an inmate was like
Yeah.
mad at him and just beat the shit.
I'm surprised it was in general population and
I
not
know.
Oh, yeah?
secluded.
Yeah.
Well, but see, wait a minute. Aren't there other like pedophiles and stuff in jail you can make friends with? You know.
You,
It's frowned upon.
I mean, Keenan,
What?
pedophilia is like a no-no in jail. Like,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, really.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
I
I
thought
think-
Like if they
That's
find
the-
out you're a pedophile in
Yeah.
jail, like
Then
it's a
they're-
wrap
that's
for
really?
you. Like you're gonna
You're gonna
be tortured. Like
Whoa.
yeah,
They
yeah.
normally you normally don't survive that.
Yeah.
Or without
Crazy.
being
Yeah, dude.
without being violated.
And these are also coming from people who may or may not be like rapists and killers and
Oh, yeah.
rapists and
Exactly.
killers.
exactly,
Wow.
but they
Interesting.
definitely frown
don't-
upon the children.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
You
The
don't-
woman killing a woman and all that for the most part is they don't care much about that, but
Yeah.
children
when
and
it comes to kids,
yeah, they don't. Most of them don't mess
it's a
around.
big no-no.
Even
Oh,
if they
yeah.
killed a kid and they're like, "Hey, wait a minute, you
just
touched a kid."
depends. No, it
Okay.
just depends.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did
So yeah, you don't have like.
I
little
never
groups
been
of
jailed,
pedophiles.
Joe.
No, but I'm saying you don't have little groups of pedophile best friends. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
that's
there's
They don't get shit?
absolutely not.
Wow. 'Cause, yeah. Okay.
Welcome, welcome all to episode 90 of the None of Our Business podcast.
right.
We are your hosts, Keenan, CNN Dunkaroo, C-Section, C-Notice, C-3PO, see your way out of here. We have Keenan Duncan on the ones and twos.
No, one of the twos.
I don't know, man. You're doing the music.
I'm trying to do something. I want to do something different, but I can't. I get the same beat in my head. It's like,
Today,
it's lame.
we have a very special guest, Mr. Unmatched Lighting himself,
Mr. What?
Juan Salguero.
Thank you.
Fan of the show.
Oh,
yes.
You know, we had to get him on.
Good stuff.
Yes. And all you prisoners out there listen to our show.
And I'm just Joe.
Yeah.
There
Wait,
you go.
no. What prisoners listen to the show?
Wouldn't that be
when
crazy
it
if we
was
blew
Joe?
up?
That'd be
If we blew
cool.
up in
Do they
prison?
let you listen to like podcasts?
I'm sure they can, dude. If you got dudes with cell phones and all that shit,
Yeah.
at some point
TV.
for sure you
Ah,
got
yeah, that's
you got
true.
dudes just
They got
chilling.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, all you inmates out there,
What up?
what up?
You have to have them check in.
I know. we'll you know, if you guys could IG us, hit us up on None of Our Business
There you go.
podcast. At None of
See
Our
how
Business
far you got them.
I know,
See how
right?
far they're at.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be crazy. I'm gonna, you know,
Then we could do a live show in prison.
I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna
There you
reach
go,
out
reach out.
to local prisons. Be like, hey, do you guys let people listen to podcasts?
Oh,
And be
God.
like, no, that you know of.
That you know of.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're paying for it. No, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I've seen a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Mm.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, you see it on IG, like people like
Oh, dudes inside.
people
fucking just
repost like
chilling.
them doing
Yeah,
like
I could have
little
swore I heard
dances
something
and
about like
stuff or doing
even like World of Warcraft. Apparently, I remember hearing somebody who like, because I think they have like a computer room in some of these prisons or whatever, and they
Yeah.
learn stuff, but they
Yeah.
also can play like a video game or something like that. Some
Can
story I heard about World of Warcraft and like some prisoner played it. I don't know. I'm trying to access my memory here, and it's pretty horrible. But I thought there was something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about now. Like growing up, my dad was locked up, so I always
yeah?
had to go visit, and you just saw like
Bro.
the crazy shit that
Really?
even just sometimes in the visiting rooms, you know, it's families visiting and
Right,
shit,
right.
and you see some crazy between fights, which those were a little bit more controlled, but you,
Right,
you saw
right.
some crazy shit
Because
sometimes.
my dad was in a federal prison,
Okay,
so it's a
that's
little
probably-
different.
That's a little bit more
yeah,
clean cut.
yeah. That one he looked fine. He looked pretty healthy. It was
So are they like,
minimum security, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
like
Very-
they were like
very
super
chill.
chill.
those are with people who are like dealing with white collar crimes as federal stuff, or
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
thought
Yeah.
murderers would
tax,
be in
tax
federal.
evasion, stuff like that, right?
yeah,
Oh.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's, I mean, That's a very different environment
Yeah.
than
Gotcha.
your
in
actual
your
state
regular
prisons
state
and-
prisons.
Damn.
Oof,
You
that's
get all
heavy.
you get all the crazy.
So never go to jail, all right,
No.
Keenan?
Yeah.
Let's. We won't survive. we
I know I won't.
that'll be a little
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, I don't think
Damn.
none of us will.
No. I mean, I got a DUI, and then I had to go to jail for like the weekend.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I was like the whole time I was like,
I ain't
no, I
sleeping.
can't.
Sleeping.
I was literally there just for a night though, because
Yeah.
like it's a weekend, but they don't make you stay the whole weekend. So
Yeah.
I got processed, got a bunk, was in it for like I don't know 2 hours, and
Yeah.
then they called me and said, "Hey, you're out of here."
Was there
Was it the
somebody in
longest 2 hours of your life, or
It
was
wa-
it?
well, yeah, because
You're like, oh god,
processing,
how long
dude,
is this going?
processing was like 8 hours.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah, just being processed into the system was like 8 hours. Then I was on that bed for like 2 hours, and then coming out was like another 6 hours. So it was literally like a full ass day for me.
Damn.
No sleep, no nothing.
No
just-
sleep,
that's
no
crazy.
nothing. And I went when I turned myself in. I did like, I did it as early as possible. I wanted to be like in there as early as possible.
Get
Just
a-
get
get a
it
good
over
bed.
with. Yeah, get it over with. And I went in with the expectation like, fuck it, if I'm gonna be here the weekend, it is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And then I was also thinking like, damn, but my diet, because I don't eat beef, I don't eat pork. What's gonna happen to me?
Yeah.
So, but luckily I got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And that was kinda
Nice.
cool.
There you go.
Gave my milk to somebody.
There you go.
Or else
Did
you
you
would've
give
lactose
it?
intolerant.
Did you give it to him? Or did they take it from you?
No, I gave it to him. I gave it to him. No, I gave it to him. I was
That's
like,
my
hey, bro, you
challenge,
want
Joe.
you want
See,
my
that's
milk?
how you
And he
get
was
in.
like,
That's how I get in. I just won't eat. I'll just give my food away,
my food
and then
away.
that way I don't have to beat up anybody.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You
I
look
just
for the
starve.
biggest guy just to
Yeah,
punch him.
like, hey, bro, you want my milk, man? Here's my milk.
Yeah,
You could have my milk every day, okay? I'm lactose intolerant.
yeah.
Just don't tell anybody. Tell them I beat you.
Just, just have my back. Have my
Yeah.
back on these things.
There you go.
That'd be weird. Oh, man.
I heard it's also very different in like other prisons around the world. Like America, something's really trippy about the way our prisons are run or held, or the people inside. Like it's very different than if you go to like a maximum security prison that's equivalent of a state one over in like London or in Bangladesh or something like
well,
that.
I know, like in like Sweden, and like those Sweden, Denmark, those kind of like their prisons are actually like pretty. They're made to rehabilitate a
Yeah,
person.
yeah. They're made to make somebody come out being better than what they're
Yeah,
going in.
right.
Yeah.
Versus here in
Versus
the
here
states,
where they
in the
just-
states in general, it's all money.
It's all money.
It's like
That's all
schools.
it is.
It's like schools. It's like, hey, you can't miss because if not, we
Yeah.
don't get paid.
So technically,
all-
maybe I was in a prison of education.
Keenan, come on, Keenan. No.
What? I'm
No.
forever in debt. I don't know
You're in a prison
of myself
Yeah, pretty much. You built
because
that
I
prison.
chose to go to prison, financial
But
prison.
isn't that's kind of like that's what I never understood. Okay, so you had gotten a loan, right? Now just
Can I
just
explain
put
my
your
whole loan
business out there.
process?
Sure, why not?
So
I don't think you ever have on the pod.
I brushed over it, but because everybody always
Like your education, right?
oh, fuck you. So anyway, ass.
Get to it.
So coming out of high school, I tried to go to college like immediately after to get in the fall, but I didn't get accepted into the fall, and then I kind of slacked on applying for colleges, so I went for the spring for SF State, and when I got accepted, I didn't really go after scholarships and loans prior. I kind of waited till I got in and then searched for scholarships and
Yeah.
loans and stuff like that. And then I didn't get accepted. I mean, I filled out the FAFSA and all that stuff, but apparently the income of my family was too high for me to get a scholarship.
A scholarship.
One of your basic ones from that
That's
organization. And then my grades were too low to get a scholarship too. So family money was too high. My grades were too low. So I didn't really fit anywhere for that.
Right.
So I tried to apply for the quote unquote BS scholarships where it's like, oh, if you're black, or if you have a green eye, or if you have
Yeah,
different
the
color hair,
specialty
something like
stuff,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
I tried to apply for those,
Like a
and a lot of them required a lot of like information and essay writing on certain historical stuff, and
You were just too lazy to do
I
that.
was just no, fuck yeah, I did one.
I'm
Okay,
sure
I
it's
was
probably a ton of work
Oh,
just
I'm
to
pretty
get.
sure. Yeah.
I was lazy on doing a bunch of them.
Right.
I did a few, and I thought it was kind of BS to do all that work for $500 scholarship. None
It
of
was
it.
just $500.
Yeah, because that's the thing. They want you to apply. You can apply to as many scholarships as you want, and you can get a ton of them. They stack, but that's the thing is because they stack, you have to get a $200 there, $1,000 there, $500 there. You know, that's where the laziness came. I just wanted to get a one lump.
Yeah. You were trying to find the
Scholarship,
biggest one
grant,
and try
yeah.
to go for that.
Exactly, and then the grants. I couldn't get a grant either. And the process of getting a lot of those required, like you said, work. And it would be a good full-time job to really get it going if I didn't know where to look for it.
Okay.
I think if I spent the hard work researching and then the easy work filling the stuff out, things might have been a little bit different.
Yeah.
But because it didn't go that way, and I was
And how long
18,
ago was this?
10,
So we're about to have our
So-
20-year
so-
anniversary. We're about to have our
So
20
even
year
so, even
19
the internet,
years.
it wasn't as easy as let me just look on my phone.
The
So
internet,
No,
it
it
was
was
it wasn't
definitely-
on the the
No.
internet
that's what
was
I-
out, and I
yeah.
did apply through the internet.
Yeah.
But
It wasn't mobile like you couldn't.
no,
mobile.
and it was
Like
kind of like
nowadays, you can
This is
just
like
put your-
2003, maybe 2000.
Okay.
it's
yeah.
like filling out something from careerbuilder.com or LinkedIn.
okay.
Like you put in your information and it sends it out to a bunch of places. And I did that too.
Yeah.
But again, the likelihood of a lot of that stuff, the research is what gets you the scholarship grade. You really got to look for what
Yeah.
helps you out, and then that can reduce the filling out the work time. But I did the reverse of that. I started picking these random shits that I wasn't sure I was
Yeah.
doing, but it was under the category of FAFSA and what I was going for as engineering, and I had to do this long essay written historical, why am I going to this school? Why am I applying for this scholarship? Which is funny because you're applying for scholarships because you want the money.
Yeah.
There's no other reason
You
behind
couldn't
it.
just like copy and paste, like send the
Some
same
people
thing to
do.
all of them.
Some
like,
people do.
I was gonna
And-
say,
Like they're not cross-referencing.
Yeah.
So you
Pretty
should
much.
just say made
You
one
took-
like
you took
glorious
that one. From Bob
one.
Smith from last year. You're done.
You're like
Get out of here.
just made one glorious one that was just perfect, and you
Yep.
just send it to everybody.
Yeah,
And then watch the scholarships come in. Like yeah.
I wasn't thinking straight. Honestly, I was young.
The crazy thing is
Yeah.
that like even if you would, I feel like even if you would have done this like in high school, like when you quote unquote should be doing it, I don't remember like our high school, like our counselors and stuff being active and trying to help
Very
us.
little.
Like
Very
like
little.
I don't ever remember that. I don't remember the counselor calling me in and be
Hey,
like,
have you-
Joe, what are
have
you
you
trying to
applied,
do?
or what
Like,
do you- yeah.
your grades are pretty good. We can see if we can help. Like that never happened.
There was a
Yeah,
one
no.
day, period, and I'm not sure if you remember, where we all had to go see our counselor.
Yeah, one
And that-
time.
I know, one time. And that was the day you're supposed to know where you're going, what schools to apply to, what scholarships to apply to.
Yeah, but it's not like a Spirit Week or where a bunch of colleges come and say, "Hey,
No.
there's no recruiting."
I don't
type
remember a lot of
stuff like
colleges
that.
coming to our
I don't remember
Yeah.
that either. And then,
No?
and again, I want to blame the counselors for not being active enough to say, "Hey,
Yeah.
guys, or individually say, "Hey, I was looking at your stuff. You're looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I help you advance? Why don't I help you do this?" And actively try to advance
Yeah.
instead of
They're
saying
probably just dealing more with trouble students than trying to help.
Probably.
that's
combination of
that's
things, I think.
possible too.
Yeah.
That's
And a lot of it should be, there is not a lot of encouragement from the school system, including when I went to SF State.
unless you're of a higher caliber student. Probably.
I would say probably if you're,
They're not going to be looking at C-average kids and saying, "Hey, let's."
No.
They're
No,
just
no,
be
no.
like, okay, so I'm looking at your
Yeah.
stuff. Just go to community college. All right, boom."
Yeah,
which
you're
is
good.
what I think I should have did, because I went to 3 different community colleges after I graduated. After I left SF State, correct myself, and
Oh, so you went to college and then
yeah,
He went to the big college. It's
They
like,
came
hey, this
back.
wasn't enough for me.
No.
I'm going to community college. He did the reverse.
mainly I went because I did those student loans, and I need to not pay them back.
yeah.
Because the payment for me to pay them back, like every month was I think like $1,500. Oh no, it was much higher. It was like close. It was almost $2,000 a month I had to pay him back.
Oh,
So I
wow.
was like, I can't afford this shit,
Yeah.
even with the job. So I went to school to get an in-school deferment.
Oh wow.
And
So
Siobhan
as long as you're in
mentioned
school,
I don't have to pay. I
you
can
don't
just
have to
pay back the interest, which is like a couple $100, and
That's
then
still a
that's
lot.
still a lot.
But then the loan is still there.
Exactly, the loan is still
And
there.
so
So you've
Yeah.
just been paying your interest, and you
the
probably
most
haven't
part.
even paid your loan.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's what's crazy to me. Like, and then, but your situation is weird because it's yours. Even though it's a student loan, it's not considered a student loan, is it?
No, I got a private loan. I got pushed. I got the information I received was if you want your money now and easy, sign on this dotted line. And I was like, okay, there's the dotted line. I know that. Sign my name, and that was it. Then I find out later what I'm applying for. Now, granted, during the process, they might have gave me a few bits of information about it, but I never really sat down with the loan agent. It was mostly over the phone or email.
Yeah.
So no one really showed me the paperwork and was like, okay, what you're signing now, you're going to pay this much back when you graduate. You're going to pay this much interest. It was very glossed over. It was
Yeah.
like, if you don't have X amount of money making per month, don't get this loan. And the idea when I was
And you don't even know what you're going to be making.
and I know you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
make, and that's the thing. When I went to college and most people don't get their dream job or their expected job in their field.
yeah.
I know a decent amount, not all of them, but I know a decent amount of engineers who are not doing engineering jobs.
Yeah.
And some of those engineering jobs don't even pay that high either. Again, it's really the resource and the information. If you have the resource and the ability to research more, then the other stuff comes a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I could have got a job at SpaceX, Tesla when those were blowing up.
Yeah.
Because I was around before all this stuff
Yeah.
in Silicon Valley.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's like, it's
You kind of missed that wave. a
Yeah,
little
the
bit?
information is really key. So, yeah, I didn't really know what I was getting into. They kind of gave me some stuff, but I was like, I need money now. I got accepted. I'm not getting accepted to any of the scholarships and grants. Loans are the easiest and quickest way. And then I was like, okay, boom, I'm going to be an
It's
engineer.
yeah.
Sign. I'll make the money back in 2 years. Now it's been like 6 or 7.
Oh shit.
So,
It's been more than 6
6
or
or 7
years. Can you
sorry.
think about
Okay.
it?
Well, I'm not a good engineer.
I never said I was a good engineer. I just said that.
Yeah.
It's been some time.
It's
now.
been about 11 years.
Yeah, I was
since
gonna
left
say like
SF
12.
State.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So student loans suck. Don't get student loans unless you really, really need it. But
Well, don't get private student loans.
So the privates are they
Because
like?
that's
I got both government and private.
So then,
But
you-
my
you're-
main
but then-
main is private.
Do you mind if I ask
Who it is?
How much it is?
It's a lot.
And those private loans are the ones that are like by big companies
Yeah,
or
so-
just investors.
Yeah, because you can't get
Yeah, so-
forgiveness off
no,
of those, right?
no,
Or you
no.
can't get like
At all.
You-
I could die or whatever, and all my loans go to somebody else. Like
Ooh,
somebody
they have
Hey.
somebody
to
else
pay
lined
back.
up for it.
But
Yeah.
If you want to play a good trick, there you go. Put it on Joe's name.
Should
no,
switch it.
I should have signed in the beginning. You would have got me, pal.
Yeah.
But just to think that like it's weird because even though it's a student loan, because it's private, you're not going to get any of like the
No,
benefits
no
of like
government.
like the government deferments that have been
Nope.
happening and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
So
No.
you're still stuck
Stuck.
paying all that.
Yeah, I'll be paying on it estimated, so you can calculate, you can reverse engineer it, but it's estimated it'll still be after the 11 years have already been out, another 25 for me to pay it all back.
Oh wow. Based on just
If
minimum
you pay
payments.
the
If I
structure,
pay the structure of like,
Yeah.
I think it was
So
like
then the
$1,500
$20,000 loan becomes a $100,000 loan.
or more.
jeez,
That's
Keith.
crazy.
Like that's scary.
But see,
That's
the
scary
thing-
to think about.
But people would get, I don't know, I would get frustrated when people squint their eyes and go, "How did you let that happen?" It's like, I was 18. I didn't. I was trying to get money.
Educated, yeah.
And because you're technically an adult already,
Mhm.
like nobody's gonna tell you like, oh well, poor guy, he
Well,
was 18.
yeah, of course I
Like,
wouldn't
no.
have got it if I knew what I was doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what sucks. That's what.
Yeah.
Did you get pushed to go into college, or was it more
Kind of,
of a
sort of.
okay.
It was highly encouraged by my parents and my peers. the judgmental stuff, like, oh, which one are you going to?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going,
Is it,
stuff
but
like
it was
that.
that based on your parents being college graduates or friends and family? Or?
One of them did graduate, the other one didn't, but they
Okay.
both went. They
Went.
both went to college,
Yeah.
up in San Francisco.
All right.
Um,
So they wanted you to live the vicariously through you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, go to the same
Yeah.
college that I went to. Kind of thing.
and I'm glad I did it.
Mhm.
So the extreme amount of money I owe in debt feels like it was worth it for the experience that I got.
There you go.
However, yes, I can definitely say, as an adult now, I totally would have flipped it if I had the opportunity. But it was such a good experience for me. It's like, it would have been nice to do that research prior, and it would have been more, I'm going to say enjoyable, but it definitely would have less regrettable looking back over my experience to how much I paid for it if I did it a different route.
But then would have been different, let's say, if you would have done it and then you would have landed this job at SpaceX.
Possibly.
And then it's like, oh, yeah, then
Yeah,
you're
then it would-
rolling, you would have paid it
Exactly.
off. And then
Exactly.
It was
Yeah,
I think
at that
just
time it
depends.
wouldn't
Yes.
have mattered.
The idea
now.
is I graduate, get an engineering job, and pay it off in 2 years.
Right.
Or 3.
But now the way that just the job market is,
Mhm.
it's just like the degrees almost don't even matter sometimes anymore, and your job description has been blurred a lot.
Mm.
So you're probably not going to make the same amount that you could potentially be making because there are other people who went to like a trade college
Mm-hmm.
that they can pay less
Yes.
for what you know.
Exactly.
So that's the fucked up part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's everything it's so oversaturated that it's like
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is there's people that are in college their whole lives, going to school for a master this, master that. And at the end of the day, what are they making? It's not
Right.
barely cutting six figures sometimes.
yeah,
And you're like,
yeah.
that's rough.
And six figures, like even in today's standards, isn't
Oh, yeah.
even a lot anymore.
That's not a lot anymore.
Like in California, I think what was it? I saw a statistic something on one of those newspaper sites, or news. Why did I say newspaper? News sites, news outlets.
What is
that?
that?
Was
What's a
saying
newspaper?
that 100,000 in like for a family of two, 100,000 is still is considered low income
Low income.
in California. And
Until,
I'm like,
until you're
what the
filling out a
fuck?
loan and then they're saying, oh, no, that's too much money.
Exactly.
The double standard on
So
all that is
exactly.
crazy.
So it's like, so the loan process is outdated, but the market is not. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
it's crazy to think that like having a six figure for a couple is low income. It's
Yep.
crazy. Like
Yep.
because you go somewhere like in Texas and it's like you're balling.
That's why Joe
Out of
Rogan
control.
moved there.
Oh, did he move
Nah,
out
he
there?
moved over.
Yeah,
for
he moved to
different
Texas.
No, I
reasons.
saw that they moved. I saw that he moved the studio. I didn't know if
Yeah.
that he had just moved out.
Well, why would he fly to Texas to do?
Because he's balling out of control. What are you talking about,
He's
Keenan?
got, he's got his pad down here. He's got a place out
Yeah,
there.
He does have a
exactly.
family
Yeah,
out
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I
'cause-
would
I don't know
think-
what it's like to have that kind of money. so
you and I both,
I'm,
pal.
I'm
huh?
confused.
You're speaking to the right guy right here. This
Yeah,
guy,
no.
entrepreneur of the year right here, of
No.
the century.
Oh yeah, you have your own business and stuff.
Yeah. So we do production. So we work with Joe a lot.
Oh.
doing stuff like that. So
I thought you
Yeah.
worked with Joe at the company.
No,
No.
He has his
Gotcha,
own
gotcha. You have your own
company.
company.
Well, he
You need a CAD drafter?
hey, soon enough.
he's like, I didn't know I was gonna be doing a job
There you
interview.
go.
yeah.
Let me see your resume real quick.
Ah,
We'll talk.
damn it.
Where did you go? Where did you
Oh,
go
what,
again?
what university?
What
Yeah.
university was that?
What was your grades? Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Was it an HB? Oh shit!
Yeah,
I'm
no,
so-
it's crazy.
No, but yeah, like you've managed to put together a fairly successful company.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that was you, Keenan.
Yeah, but
God
you barely
damn
heard it,
Keenan.
so don't give me shit. You heard it outside of the mic. I bet you didn't pick it up.
I did pick it up.
My ass.
If I could hear it on the headphones, I picked it up. Anyway, but yeah, you've been able to put together a fairly successful company, but where did that put you, like as far as like education? Did education have a lot to do with it, or are you like me,
No, not
that
at
where
all.
we're just like had to make it do what it do
Yeah, no. I
and
went-
learned on the job? Like
I,
pick
I,
up a job
I,
or-
I learned by hustling. At
Oh, you
the end
did?
of the day.
Okay.
So I went to high school and all that, and I didn't have the credits to finish and graduate, so I never crossed the stage.
Right.
So I had to go to summer school and then to a continuation school, get my extra points, and then get a diploma. So I graduated probably a couple months after
Graduation.
Okay.
after graduation, and then I was looking at becoming an airplane mechanic.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, all right, cool. I like messing with cars. I'll learn how to fix planes and hopefully make a good living out of it.
Because they do, right? Like,
No.
oh, they don't?
I don't
Oh,
think so,
shit.
personally. So, but in high school, I started working at probably like 15, 16. I had a buddy of mine that worked for a big lighting company, and he's like, hey, I work with a couple small companies that they're always hiring kids to come and hang out and work and learn the trade. And I was like, sure, on the weekends I'll go. So I started doing gigs on the weekends and just kind of learning, seeing what everybody's doing. Did that pretty much 3 years of my high school career, and by the time I was graduating high school, I was already making $30 an hour.
Holy shit.
Dude, if
300
I had
Bro, I was
that-
working a job, but you was making 12, and I was like, yeah, boy.
Yeah, it's like I
God
was making like
dang.
$250 a day, $300,
Damn.
and that was big money back then, you know.
Yeah.
And but then I was like, oh no, I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna do this. Nobody ever pushed me to it, but one of my buddies was me. We were cool, and like, all right, well, let's just go here. So we were gonna go to like this private tech school to do that.
Okay.
And
yeah,
then luckily, man, we got lucky.
like ITT.
Yeah, something like that,
something like
like West
Trump University.
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
DeVry, no. One of those
Pretty
trade
much,
schools.
Yeah, one of the
Private
trade schools,
yeah,
private
yeah.
trade schools. So I was gonna be in the hole for like 80, 90 grand for like
For one semester, right?
for like it's like a
No,
two
to get
semester.
the-
Yeah,
yeah.
but you get your
You
license
get
at
your
the end.
Gotcha.
certification. Or
And we
whatever.
were, and both of us, we were almost there. We're like, all right, cool, let's sign up, blah blah blah. And then we looked at the money, and then
I'm like, oh.
and we're like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. And then we ended up finding that West LA College had the same program, which is a community college. So
Yeah.
then you're just paying for your credits, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'll try that. I'd rather do that than.
Yeah.
So we both ended up doing that, and so I said, fuck it, full time.
Mm-hmm.
So I did 2 years of that. My wife now used to do all my written stuff. 'Cause
Did you met her before?
yeah, me and my wife been together almost we'll be married 16 years. coming up
Hey,
in October.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice.
Nice.
So, but
Married
we've-
16, but you
married
guys have been
16. We've been
together.
together almost
High school sweethearts, kind of. almost?
Yeah, met at
Almost,
church.
yeah.
Yeah, met at church. So before even high school.
Oh, shit.
So
You see that God exists and it brings
Don't.
people together.
Better not keep it. He's like,
So it's all it's
we were young.
yeah, we were young. Yeah, but
Yeah.
so she would do all the written stuff, and I was like everything else, tearing shit apart, building
Okay,
shit. That
okay.
that was me. That's what I love to do. So
So you'd get
that
home
was
and
easy.
she would do your homework. And
Yeah, no, that happened in high school too.
Oh,
she's
shit.
2 years older than me, so English, history,
Dang.
all those. She did my work. I can't lie. I can't say.
The teachers are like,
She
man,
owns-
you have the greatest writing. This is crazy.
like
It's
two
amazing.
grades
It's
a
like
level.
you're 2 grades above me. You're
It's like, hey,
yeah.
why does your classwork look different from your homework?
Yeah, exactly. No, all I did in high school was sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
No, but you would do the work and she would just do the written shit. Or she would do the work.
No, she would do almost all of
Oh
it.
shit! So you guys have an
Dang.
equal. You guys pretty much
She's
have.
got 2 diplomas.
Wait, what happens if there's like a test? You would have to know that stuff, though, right?
I would either fake it or fail it, but then the grade
your
stuff.
classwork, yeah.
the
'Cause
the
classwork
homework
normally
it would
makes up
balance
for it.
out.
Yeah.
It's only a third. Your classwork's a third, and then you
Dang.
get 2/3 of
That's
homework
great.
and everything else.
That's
So
awesome.
she
Just make sure you finish your like.
Yeah. Are there more women like this out there somewhere?
Tina's on the hunt.
she's
I'm gonna go
she's
back
special.
to school. Yeah.
So that. But you going to West LA College that helped you get.
So West LA College, doing the airplane power plants, all that stuff, learning that, and at the same time working on the weekends. It was Monday through Thursday, so I would gig Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Bam,
And
everything.
that's a nice little chunk of
and
change.
that's a nice chunk of change
Yeah.
yeah.
for a college student.
Yeah.
Making what people make in a whole week, I was making
Yeah.
in
In
3-4
3 days.
days.
And you
Yeah.
said gigs, like you were putting up shows and stuff too.
Yeah, yeah, at that
so you
point I
were
was
seeing
putting-
like these cool ass concerts.
When I first started, I was doing like weddings,
Okay.
corporate
Okay.
stuff. The other stuff. There's what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate is a whole nother world.
Yeah.
Weddings is a whole nother world. And
Gotcha.
people make so much money doing weddings, corporate stuff, all of it.
Okay.
You know, we're more into the entertainment now.
Yeah.
Right.
But all this other stuff is making just as much, if not more, money sometimes.
Yeah,
shit.
dude. Because
It's
I mean,
crazy.
you get these celebrities who want to have like these illustrious, and sometimes it's not even celebrities. It'll be like a
Just somebody that's
CEO
loaded.
of a company that
Mm-hmm.
wants to toss,
Yeah.
you know, X amount of
He
money.
needs a tax write off, so he's going to throw an event. And,
Yeah.
and hey, we need to spend a couple
It's-
million on this event to make sure that it's for my charity, and it's a
Right.
nice little write off.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's crazy out there.
So you were just doing those.
So I was doing gigs, and I was going to college. Finished college, did my test, finished it, applied. They helped you. There was job placement, so I
Yeah,
went.
whose phone is that, bitch?
That's
what I thought.
It's all
Twice.
right, it's all right. Okay.
God.
All right, go ahead.
So job placement, ended up landing a job at Delta as a airframe power plant mechanic. They started me at $17 an hour.
Whoa. So you went through
So
all
it
that.
really isn't a lot.
So I went $17 an hour. I was there 2.5 weeks, just kind of talking to people.
Yeah.
One of the older senior dudes had been there 20 years, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I make some good money." I was like, "Yeah, oh, that's good, cool." I was like, "How much you making?" I was like, "If you don't mind me asking." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm topped out at 37." I was like, "All right,
Wow.
$37." I was like, "I'm already making." In my head, I'm like $35 an hour.
Yeah.
And I can make that in 6-8 hours sometimes and
Yeah.
get out of there, you know? So I was like, all right, cool.
So your
I-
dream was shattered. Your dream of
Yeah.
being an airplane mechanic is like, oh my gosh, I'm only gonna make
I was
30.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, 40,
do a gig and make that.
40-hour weeks, you know,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh yeah. I was like, all right, cool. Got my first paycheck. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, that
Second
happens.
paycheck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, nah, fuck this. I'm gonna go gig.
I think
So-
anything related to, I don't want to fully on say on all of the sciences and stuff like that because, you know, I want to make and build things too. Maybe not so much repair. I mean, one of the ideas was to work on military planes and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a buildup of like, I don't know where it came from, but like it's like somewhere they judge the status of these jobs where it's like you're working on these machines.
You're
and
you're an
they're
elite
big, and it's like-
mechanic because you get to work on this.
yeah,
when
yeah.
It's really
and then
not.
you realize when you get in there that
It's not that glamorous.
No, no. I mean, even at my dream job, I was still getting paid way less than what I was hoping to get coming out of college.
Yeah.
But because it was under the category of like it's my dream job,
Yeah.
which was designing roller coasters, I stayed there and stuck it out.
Yeah.
But I think even when you get to like managerial stuff, which takes a while, you have to
Oh,
like,
yeah.
practically wait till somebody dies, which is
Yeah.
another thing.
Or
Sometimes,
somebody
yeah.
gets moved up or
So
moves to a different
exactly.
company, and
There's stipulations.
And
there.
forget if it's like a family-owned company because
Mhm.
nepotism
Mhm.
runs rampant.
Huge.
Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah. So it's like it's yeah, it's ridiculous. So the idea is to really be in your research, like looking for these kind of jobs. Like again, going back to San Francisco, if I looked and keep my eyes and ears open to these companies that were blowing up in Silicon Valley, it might be a totally different story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
it puts
crazy.
you in a different it puts you in a different spot.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. So then you just decided, fuck it, I'm going gig.
So I went and started freelancing, working for this one company, and then kind of hooked up with a couple other people. Did my thing, networked a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Before you know it, I was working 2 gigs every day. You
Because
know,
you're
you name
asking
it.
around. You're not
Yeah.
even like putting out cards. You're just
No,
actually
no,
talking
it's
to
just
them.
talking to the right guys. Hey, you know, a couple good buddies of mine. It's like, oh yeah, we work for this guy. We work for this. Like, all right, cool. So
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, well, if you ever need anybody, I'm here too. I had one good buddy of mine that he used to work with 1540, one of the
Okay.
companies, and so he hooked me up with them to work with them also. So I was like, all right, cool. Started working with them, and I was working with a couple other different companies at the same time, and it was just like, all right, cool, good money all the way around. If I didn't like working with this company, I would go say, hey, I got some free days, go work somewhere else.
Right.
And
It was just
kinda,
a hustle. Yeah.
It was just a hustle. Like I said, just
Okay.
kind of doing and learning more and more as you did it, and got into programming, started a little bit of everything. Just kind of got my feet wet and doing everything because I wanted to know that I can do everything.
It's like sound and lighting, or just
Sound, lighting.
lighting?
At this
Okay,
point,
okay.
I know for the most part almost all of it. Maybe
Okay.
not the video portion as much, but sound and lighting, that's all pretty straightforward.
But you're at the point now where you can just say you don't know that portion, but I know somebody who does.
Exactly. That's the
So,
biggest thing now. Now
yeah.
it's who you know of
Yeah,
versus
yeah,
what you know to a certain degree.
Yeah. Like I've been fortunate, like meeting you was like
Yeah.
incredibly fortunate for me because at the time I really didn't know shit because I came into the game late,
Yeah.
pretty late in the game. And you actually gave me my first opportunity of like actually
Oh yeah.
having somebody that's a pretty consistent client.
Yeah.
And then you taught me shit. I consider you a mentor.
Thank you.
Like because you've taught me a lot about the industry and just like and the way it works.
Yeah.
And maneuvering around things and like I've been pretty fortunate to have you as a friend, as a client. So just learning from you as far as how to maneuver around the industry
Oh,
and
yeah.
and pricing and helping like, oh well, what can we do as far as this,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
how can we finagle this portion and shit like that
Yeah.
has really helped me blossom into like kind of where I am today.
Yeah,
like
man, you're
I can
you're killing it. You got a bunch of clients as well, man.
yeah,
That's
I can
awesome.
pretty much walk into a room and be like, yo guys, what's up?
Yeah, what
Okay.
you need.
I'm Joe.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what do you need?
Yeah,
How do you feel
exactly.
about
Like-
being a mentor? Did you know you're a mentor?
I didn't.
Or do you
We-
just
we
found out
hang
right now?
Yeah, yeah. Nah.
Hey,
He's-
cheers!
he's
I,
tell-
He
I
knows
keep
he's
it.
a
I, you know,
mentor.
cheers, cheers.
Wow, to the mentor.
Well, I don't like to speak on it a lot, but I don't like to air it out because I like people to know that But yeah,
Joe doesn't
I
admire
do
a lot of
consider you a
people.
mentor. Like you
Thank
really
you.
taught me a lot about the industry. You gave me an opportunity to like really prove that the company that I work for could do something, and I feel like giving me that opportunity gave me the confidence to move on to different people and
and approach them.
expand.
Yeah. and be like, oh yeah, we already did that. Here, we
Yeah,
can do it. Yeah.
exactly,
And that's that's
exactly.
what it, like
Perfect
that bold
example.
job.
Exactly. Perfect example is the revolve job.
Yeah.
The first time I ever did that dome was because of Juan. And he's like, "Hey, do you think we could do this?"
Right, right.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
She's like, this is
"Yeah,
hard.
we can
Yeah.
Let's do
this.
it. Yeah.
Let's talk to the engineer, see what we really need to do." And we finagled it a little bit, and then we did it.
We did a baby version of it.
We did a baby version of it, and then it grew into like this revolve job, which is like a huge ass dome with integrated with the state. Like it's pretty,
it's
pretty
pretty dope.
it's intricate.
Cool.
And it came from the idea of like, hey, can we do a dome?
We did a small version
Yeah.
of it, and then he
Oh,
made
okay.
it.
Pretty
blew
much
it
like
up.
an amphitheater, like
Yeah.
like if you go to the Hollywood Bowl.
Hollywood
Yeah,
Bowl. That's
yeah.
exactly.
We
That's what we
recreated that.
built. Yeah, we
Yeah.
built the baby Hollywood Bowl inside of
That
a
spins
stage.
open.
No, it didn't spin open, but it was
Oh.
in a stage. It was just the look. So when you had the wide shot, you had the arches and the
Gotcha,
lights
gotcha.
and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So we did that for a gig, and then obviously, then he did the same thing,
And I
only
took
blew it
and I
up
fucking
Okay.
blew it
times
up.
10 or whatever, however big much.
And
it was.
because of that, no, believe me, because we've done like a bunch of
Oh, yeah.
crazy shit. Like
You're
we
like,
built a
yeah.
head. We built a. Can we do this? We built like the skeleton for Spider-Man. Like
Yeah.
it ended up becoming different things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but like we've done things that are just like. Yeah, why not? Let's try it.
Let's figure it
Let's
out.
try it. Let's try it.
Yeah.
And that emboldened me to be like, hey, yeah, fuck it. Let's try that.
Yeah,
Let's
we
try
can
that.
do it.
Why
Yeah,
not?
sure, why not?
That's cool to have a job like that where you can have that expression of creative freedom.
Yeah.
Well, and for us, it's not necessarily creative freedom because somebody, 9 times out of 10, somebody's designing it or they come up with the idea.
Okay.
And then what me and Joe do for the most part is make sure it works and it doesn't kill somebody.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it comes
And-
down to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think doing this enough kind of already gives you an understanding on what
What's
you
doable.
can get away with. What's
Yeah, yeah,
doable? Like, I don't know. That one might be a little too big.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask, but chances are no.
Yeah, and then
But-
sometimes you just say no because you're
Yeah,
like, you don't
you're
feel
like,
safe.
no,
But you're
it
like,
doesn't
oh,
feel
the,
safe
the, the, the junior said it's not really doable.
Yeah.
We can come up with something else. But we already have the, hey, let me bounce this off for you. Will it work? Or
Exactly.
let's see how we
Yeah.
can make it work.
Did you ever
Yes.
get pressure to do something that you knew wouldn't work, but you had to go through with it anyway because the client said so?
No.
Absolutely not.
I don't put-
We're at that point where it's like we know if it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know
Like-
if it's going to work and if it can hurt somebody. Nothing's worth somebody's life at the end of the day.
Absolutely
Right.
not.
Oh, we're not saving anybody's life at the end of the
Yeah.
day. We do
Damn.
entertainment.
I'll have
Yeah,
to
we're
show you
definitely
something
not.
after the show. I can't. It'll take too long for me to describe. But the last job I worked on, we wound up making this device ridiculously heavy, ridiculously large, had only like 2 supports, and so it can easily teeter. And we just kept going with it because our the project manager was like, "This is what we have to do." The client said, "This is what he requested, so we got to do it." And us mindless drafters like, "All right," and we just drew it up and handed it over. They built it,
This is gonna work.
put it together. Obviously, it didn't work. Everybody said, "How can you not?" It was super obvious that it wouldn't work, and you should have used like either lighter materials or something else, or a different design. It was like, nope. The client said we have to do it, so we have to do our best to make the client happy.
And
So that's where my question was coming from.
I feel like that's the difference between a salesman and like an actual project manager, or somebody who has
Somebody
a little
has
more
actual
insight.
experience of not just doing it on paper, but the real life experiences.
Yeah.
I think is what counts the most,
Exactly.
especially with what we do.
Exactly. Because I mean, I'm dealing with stuff right now that it's just like, yo,
No,
you can't just be a salesman.
Okay.
You have to be aware. You have to take actual human lives into account. You can't just say, yeah, we can do it. No problem, and continue to do it, because eventually you're going to come into a situation where you said, yeah, we can do it, and we can't.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you have to
fail, and then all of a sudden the client's pissed or
Yep.
anything like
That's
that.
and that's
So-
what happened to us.
Yeah. And then
So-
at the end of the day, you guys got blamed for it, not the project manager. The project
Exactly.
then it's like, yeah,
Got
no,
a
I told
promotion.
them. Yeah, I told them they really couldn't be done, but they pushed for it, and then all of a sudden
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
Well, but Keenan, you should have known. You're the one that's
Come on,
You're an
the
engineer. You went to
What-
school, right?
Yeah. What happened?
And then your thing is, well, they told me we had to.
And when
because-
I speak to the people, because I wound up going and working on putting it together with the construction crew,
Yeah.
and then they had so much shit to talk about the designers, because they were like, "Well, who designed it? The designer should be the one to decide yes or no." And it's like, no, dude, I have a boss who tells me how to do it. They have a boss, which would be the client, who tells them what they want, and it's like this trickle down BS. So the people at the end, which as you obviously know, would be like, who's allowing this to happen? Who's giving it the green light?
Yeah.
And immediately it's the people who drew it, because that's who we handed to.
And my shit is always like, whenever I feel uncomfortable about a project or something like that, where you get confronted with something like that, you just send an email. You put it in an email.
Yeah.
You
cover your
vocalize
ass.
it in an email.
Yeah.
And say, hey guys, here's my email.
Has
stating
done,
this.
has been happened, but it's not 100%. Email, vocal, message, with red line drawing. Keenan, I didn't do
Keenan
this.
said no.
Keenan said no.
Yeah, I keep a huge stack, and I don't know why. Maybe it's some weird thing in me, but I still keep a huge stack of all the drawings that have been changed and errored. There were copies that were trash anyway.
You have stuff from Accurate?
No. Well, no, I don't. I, as Keenan Duncan, do not hold any documents.
You want them? Because I have access to certain.
Well, some of them, some papers of some job that I've had in the past, I did keep in case, like for legal reasons, they come after me, like, hey, your name's on these drawings, which is where the whole blame thing is coming from. Like, because I've been blamed for mistakes on drawings that have my name on it, that either I handed off to another engineer or somebody above me approved it and didn't. There's no checking or any sort of help, and I might have made a mistake myself, or somebody else made it. Just because my name is on the paper, it is now my responsibility,
Right.
Which really sucks. So that's why I keep some of them, because it's like, oh,
That's crazy.
he did it, so. I was like, oh, fuck.
That's obviously a different industry, right? Was it just with the roller coaster stuff, or with some other stuff as well?
Roller coaster and lighting. I was in a lighting industry, hospitality industry, so. The fancy
little
lights
bit
like
more.
you see Joe, where he got that, I would design those.
Got it.
And that actually, that's a long story that could take a while on this podcast. But a part of me feels like I shouldn't have left.
Mm-hmm.
A good part of me feels like I'm glad I'm left, because I wouldn't be, where I'm at now with my own business of building signs and stuff like that. But I like doing that stuff. It wasn't such a bad gig, designing lamps and ceiling lights, and I didn't know jack shit about lights when I got into it. Bulb, electricity, plus minus, stuff like that. But then I found out the styles and call names for like the sockets and the type of function of lights and
then the
different
reflectors,
fasteners. Yes,
and
and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I was like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a science to it,
Yeah.
or not a science, but it's there's a lot of moving parts on certain stuff,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
if you everybody's like, oh no, it's just a light.
And I
Yeah,
had a
but-
good
like,
amount
there's
of
a
freedom on that
technical
one
aspect.
too,
Yeah.
to,
That's cool.
to like change the design a little bit. Like, hey, this is not gonna work. I'm gonna change it. But this works better.
That's cool.
But project managers at that company were real dicks, and I actually got yelled at, and for something I didn't want to take responsibility for, that somebody else was, and they didn't want to do it.
Mhm.
And so we both weren't going to do it, but I was the one that got yelled at, even though it was their responsibility. And I just quit after that. I was
There you
like,
go.
I'm not going to
Did you
get
react to
I'm
when
not
he
gonna get
screamed
yelled
at you, or you just kind of just?
No, I walked off. I could have went full on black and ghetto, but in a facility full of white people, it's just like,
Yeah, they would have escorted you out with security.
yeah, I would have gone to jail. I would have had that experience. So it's like,
Wait, Keenan,
Never
so
mind.
you're telling me that Accurate wasn't the first place you stormed out
no,
of?
it was the first place.
Oh, it
But,
was.
but
Okay.
from that
that
experience,
emboldened you.
That
You were
emboldened
like,
me to
you know
step,
what?
to
I
step
don't
out.
take this from you guys. I've walked out of a job before.
Yes. So I could do it again.
Yeah.
Screw you. And then I got screwed a little bit, but I liked it. I don't mind going back to it. Does Joe tell you about what happened at Accurate?
No,
It's the best story in the world.
is it?
I kind of like him
Greatest.
telling it because he saw it go down.
Yeah. Okay, I've spoken about it before, but for the new listeners who don't know this story, allow me to take you.
Because you know everybody there, right?
Most
Most-
part.
Yeah,
Oh,
he knows Jose,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I know.
and he
And
met
her.
Aaron.
Okay.
It was Aaron. He was one of the fabric.
Yeah,
yeah,
one
I
of the
don't-
welders.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, this was back in 2013,
Yeah.
14, 2013.
Yeah,
14.
13 for it was
Around
a
that time.
long time ago.
We were doing a job. We were doing a gig, and
I forgot what.
no, we weren't doing a gig. Oh, I had locked in a job for the what are the F1
Formula One racing.
for the Formula One the Long Beach one that they do.
Oh,
It was
the
for
Grand
some
Prix?
TV
Yeah, the Grand Prix.
screens that had to be
Long
mounted
Beach-
to
so-
some.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the job I got was for one of the vendors. They wanted a truss structure, and they needed some custom mounts for their TVs, so they could mount them onto the truss. But they didn't want just regular mounts. They wanted like their own little
Something
It
shit.
was a
Cool,
custom one, so I had to make sure the holes were in the right
Yeah.
place.
So Jose
They wound up getting reversed.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Jose had drawn something, and then Keenan drew his version of it, which both worked.
And I was
Both-
getting rushed to get something out, by the way.
Yeah.
That's every job.
It wasn't. Yeah.
So Aaron,
Yeah.
being the diligent person he is, had questions about the design, and was like, couldn't understand it. And Jose, went down. He's like, wait, this isn't what I drew. And then Keenan's like, well, yeah, I drew it a different way, but it still works. Let me show you. Da da da. So he was trying to show him, and Jose was just like, no. This doesn't work. You should have done it the way I did it. And he's just like, get out of here. I don't want to see you right now. I don't want to see you. Get out of here. And Keenan's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
He's like, are you serious?
Which I'm not used to. I'm
Yeah.
used to
He
the
was like taking it back.
feeling. Not,
Yeah.
not
So he was
personal.
like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, go upstairs. I don't want to see you right now. And
Like
so
a
Keenan
child,
just,
"Get outta here."
Yeah, pretty much like father and son
And
situation.
so I immediately acted like a child right after
He was
that.
like, all right. So he starts walking up. He's like, you know what? I think I'm going to take the rest of the day off. And then Jose's like, you know what? You can take the rest of the week off. And he's like, you know what? I will. He's like, okay. Slams the door. Da-da-da.
Oh, door slammed. Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Aaron and I are standing right next to Jose
Literally
still
right
the
next
whole
to me.
time. And we're like, okay, this is weird. What's
As he's walking
happening?
away, he looks at you and see
He's
if you got his
gone.
back, and you're like, you just turn away.
I'm just
I
like,
don't wanna
oh,
look at him.
jeez. So then we're like, okay, continue discussing the project.
yeah.
Eventually, I go upstairs and I just see Keenan like, I'm sorry, Joe, I can't do this anymore. He's packing a box. He's like, I'm out of here, man. I can't do this. He leaves.
Yeah.
A couple of days later,
They use this as time.
no, like Keenan doesn't show up anymore, and he's like gone.
Yeah, I was out. I told.
And
I told
Jose's like, where's Keenan? And I'm like, he's gone. He's like, what do you mean? He was just gonna take the rest of the week off, right? And he's like, no, he's gone. He's gone. He took his shit. He's out of here. He's like, what? He like quit?
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, Cap, he's gone. He's out of
It
here.
would have been a lot easier if I just said I quit. But
Yeah.
I did.
So the whole time Jose's like, he's not, you know.
He's not registering it like
No,
he's done.
he's like, oh, we had an argument. He'll
Yeah,
be
it's
back. No big deal.
yeah.
He's just gone.
Yeah.
He was like, damn. He's like,
Yeah.
oh man, that sucks. All
Yeah,
right,
it
well,
sucks. He's like, oh man, he had
find a
potential too.
replacement. Yeah.
Which
better.
they did.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we,
Or we had a couple designers there.
it's weird because
Yeah.
in the last 9 years that I've been with the company,
Mhm.
yeah, we've evolved to some.
Well, I think it comes down to more. They all learn. They get a good handle on whatever program they're working on, and then they move on
Yeah.
to do something bigger or better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And sometimes not, but maybe
Mhm.
sometimes there's more
Yeah.
money into it. It's doing somewhere else, and you go somewhere else.
exactly. I mean, we have Eric.
Yeah.
And Eric's been with us for 6 years now.
Okay.
Something of six years.
Yeah.
And he sticks around because he's comfortable.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what it comes down
yeah,
to. Some people
yeah.
have more of a vision of what they want, and some people are just comfortable having a 9 to 5 and doing
Yeah.
something and kind of.
and I mean, and his position is like he has a very lax position. Like
Yeah.
he can really do anything. And like I mean, he's pretty much the owner's drafter. But besides that, if there's nothing going on, he's pretty
He'll
much
just jump
just
in, yeah.
doing whatever he wants to do.
Damn.
So that's I mean,
Yeah,
you could have been that.
No, I tried, but I don't know what it is about me, but somehow it's the we need to give him more work. We need to like stress him out, and it's not just accurate too. It's other companies. Like once they know I can do the work or do the work quickly, let's give him more. Let's give him more
Yeah,
work.
you kind of
But-
shoot yourself in the foot. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, he knocked that out real
Yeah.
quick.
Oh, I
Here,
know
let's
that.
get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's get a couple more down.
Come in the weekend. Oh, you come in the weekend. Come in the weekend. Keep and even so much as I try to learn other programs. So I was playing around with Photoshop today. I love Photoshop. I'm doing some great stuff with it. As
Yeah.
Joe knows. But
I mean,
even
you
when
do
I
all
was
of our you do all of our graphics for the show.
yeah,
So.
I did. Yeah, and some of the projects when they saw me work on Photoshop, they had me do.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really allowed to do that. So whenever I was seen working on Photoshop stuff, if it wasn't part of a set or something
Yeah.
like that, cut me off and here do some filing, do some other work,
That was weird.
and it was
With
yeah.
you guys?
Yeah.
Or somewhere? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
But now that's like what Eric does. He'll
Yeah.
do Photoshop shit. He'll do
Yeah.
like whatever.
I was learning how to do lighting and different colors and stuff like that, and it was just like, if you're not designing a set, you're not like, what am I paying you for? You're not really
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
Go do
That's
something.
not your
that,
job description.
Yeah.
Why
yeah.
are you wasting our time?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that
It's
sucks.
crazy. Yeah, it does. It does.
And I
But
didn't really get that so much at the lighting place.
I feel like, I feel like that's that's kind of what sucks for like individuals like us who kind of like strive to just work a little harder and prove ourselves. A lot of the times, we end up proving ourselves, and then we
You
get more
take
work,
advantage, yeah.
and we get taken advantage of. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it happens a lot with, I mean, people of color in the industry too. Once they know that you can do the work and you can do it well, and you don't complain about
Yeah, you just
set
keep your
hours
mouth
and
shut
stuff,
and
they'll
just
be
do
like,
it.
yeah, they'll be like, oh well, don't worry, they'll do it, they'll
Yeah.
cover it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so a lot of times, sometimes clients will be comfortable enough to be like, oh yeah, don't worry, they're
They
gonna
get
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
What? Oh, we need to do this. Oh, we got to add this. It's gonna be another 4 hours. Don't worry.
You
Ask
witnessed
him.
that yourself. Do you remember? Not to bash too much on Hacker, but there was a moment where the boss was on the phone and the client was talking to him, was like, yeah, don't worry, I'll get it done. It'll be quick. You know, I can hear this because my desk was there. Yeah, whatever you need, just tell me, blah, blah, I'll get it done. And then seconds later, Keenan, can you do all this, blah, blah, this stuff? And I was like, what?
That's
You
better
got
than
But I
that.
think it applies to like not just in your instance, but just us. Like, I'll be out on a job, and then the client will be like, "Oh yeah, we gotta add this.
Hey, Joe, come here.
That wasn't
Yeah.
part of it. It's a change order.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys got it. It's fine." So they expect us to do it because they know that we can do the work.
Yeah.
And it just you end up getting stuck there because you're not going to be the dude to be that says
To be like, no, I can't
Exactly.
do it.
Like,
yeah.
nah,
And at
we're
the end
not
of the day,
gonna
it costs, a change order or whatever, extra money. Why
Yeah.
not? You know?
Yeah.
And we do it, but it's like you're thinking, oh man, like, well that just fucked me for the rest of the night.
There
Like,
goes,
Right.
there goes my date.
yeah, there
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
my date, or
You get burnt out or
there goes
stressed
the
out.
movie, and then you end up you're still expected to come in at 6 a.m.
Exactly.
to finish the other portion. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
All right.
You show up at 6, you're late,
Yeah.
and you didn't finish the other half. What's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
And I would make errors. I would make a lot of errors when I get rushed. And if I say you're rushing me, then it's like, well, then why are you here? Why are you doing the job? It's like,
That
you know, I
sucks.
can do it, but the pressure and
Yeah.
the expectancy of every drawing has to be 100% perfect when it gets printed out. I find it to be ludicrous. And a lot of bosses will say, "Oh, it's okay if you make a few errors here and there," but every single time you're always rushing, you're always pressuring, you're gonna have errors.
We're fortunate enough to just be able to like doodle on a napkin or on a paper we find and be like, look.
Now you just send Joe stuff on my phone. It's like, hey, here's
Oh, you
this.
do?
You got it right. Done.
Like there'll be times that I'll be like, I'm gonna call him.
Let me look at a mirror, see if it makes any
oh, yeah.
sense now.
Is this
Yeah.
a plan view or no? That's the front. Oh,
Oh, you remind me. By the way, do you play any video games by any chance or
I
no?
do not,
No.
I'm not.
Damn. Okay, new subject.
No, go for it,
I was
man.
gonna say the game I'm playing now, Control. There's a moment in the game where you have to. It's very paranormal-ish, X-Files, Stranger Things. You have to walk into a mirror. When you walk in the mirror, everything is inverted and flipped, like the names and stuff.
Yeah.
And so to run this computer to open up the code, there's pictures on a wall, like poster boards and notes, but it's all
Reversed.
reversed. So I took a mirror to my TV so I can see it.
Keenan.
The game. That's what the game's. That's what's cool. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose. Like you
So-
need a mirror to run it.
So you could have just figured it out. You don't just see a word.
can't see a word
backwards?
in
No,
backwards
you
and
don't.
kinda-
Okay,
Your
some
mind
of them,
doesn't work
some
that
of them,
way?
Some of them, yes, but some of the drawings, yeah.
That's
You got a
the
helmet
different
with
code.
a mirror.
That's the mechanical engineer in him. That's the side that's like, oh wait
Here,
a minute.
I'm not gonna use my brain. I'm gonna use science.
I'm gonna use science.
this right here. I'm gonna put my mirror here. We're
Oh
good to
my
go.
god!
I'm gonna look at the mirror
He's
as
got
I play.
He's in his restroom with the
know.
vanity folded behind him, and he's like, "All right, I got it."
Should do a meme like that if I can figure it out.
Science. He's like, I'm just gonna make this easy for me. I'm not gonna use my brain. I'm gonna use this mirror.
I
Yep.
used my brain to figure out I could use a
You
mirror.
used it?
There
Exactly.
you
All
go.
right, but it's
Damn.
cool that they do that in the game. I just thought I haven't gotten far enough yet because I had to come here. But I'm thinking just like Metal Gear Solid, you had to do some outside stuff out of the game to find the answer.
Yeah.
That's
Metal
what I'm
Gear
just
was
guessing.
shit.
I'm guessing.
There you go.
So you're okay. You don't play video games, but what is your hobby?
Cars.
Cars.
Cars?
Yeah.
I
cars.
need this. I knew this, but everybody didn't.
So how much into the car world do you build like your own cars and stuff?
Build my own cars. I have probably close to 20, 30, 25
So I
cars.
know you're gonna say this is stupid of me, but I have a shit ton of free time because of COVID. But I'm replacing my transmission because
Okay.
it broke down and it's gonna cost me $4,000 to get it fixed.
What kind of car?
Nissan Versa.
And bring it over. We'll fix it.
oh, he's
Alright.
already disassembled it.
I did. Well, it doesn't. Doesn't run anyway, so I'd have to tow it regardless.
I got a flatbed. We'll bring it. Just,
Damn.
I got you, dog.
Really?
At the moment, I have two shops. One is my main shop where we do all our production
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
And then across the street, I have another 2,000 square feet that I have my cars.
Okay.
And I'm a car guy.
Can I give you like $1,000 or something like that? Just because
I'm
I
gonna
know
charge
I
you
don't.
probably like what you said $4,000. I'll charge like 3,500.
I knew it. The idea of me
Yeah,
fixing on my own is I don't have to pay that much.
Because you started.
I started
actually
like a
putting-
week or so ago taking it apart.
a week. Come on,
Because
Keenan.
2 weeks.
It's been like 3 weeks.
Physically taking it apart,
Oh,
like
okay.
the amount of time spent.
Here's the thing.
It's only
what-
been a short
well,
time.
the Nissan Versa has that
CVT
that
transmission. It's a
CVT
really
transmissions. It's
dumbass
crazy.
transmission.
Yeah,
I hate it.
that was one of the first cars I bought my wife.
And that's why
it was weird.
it was cheap
how it
because they're
revs.
doing some weird shit with it.
Yeah,
Oh God.
we can probably find.
Fuck you, Nissan.
I have a guy that can mess with them,
Okay.
or we can find one.
Well, the main question is, can I? Because I already went to a junkyard to look to get a replacement, which I found 3,
Mhm.
but it was mine's a 2014,
Mhm.
and the junkyard was a 2017, a 2011, and 2007. They're all CVT
Mhm.
transmissions, so I wasn't sure.
I would check to see on the transmission codes. So what ends up
Okay.
happening with cars is it can be the same car, but after production, after 2 years, they find issues with it. So
Okay.
they do So this one is
Modified.
G4, then the
Gotcha.
next transmission is going to be a G5.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
So I need the exact same
You
transmission.
don't. You can if you do your research. 9 times out of 10, the newer ones will still bolt on.
Okay.
And they'll be better because the gearing is different.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's totally easy.
And okay, this
It's
is great.
easy for
Well,
you.
no, I mean, yeah, well, because I don't have all the mechanics to move it up. There is only one thing that's hindering me pretty badly, and it's a bolt that's been stripped.
Mhm.
Do you know any solutions? Like, say, for instance, the edges of the bolt are really smooth.
Mhm.
What's a good way to get that sucker out there?
How much space do you have?
Like, an inch and a half on each side. It's the really tight space. It's the air intake manifold. And there's 4 bolts.
I'd have to see it or send
Okay.
me a picture of
Okay,
it. I'm sure
okay.
I'll tell you exactly how to take it off. It's not no
Awesome.
big deal.
Let's do that because I like to figure out because I'm learning stuff about my car. So
Right.
I'd rather take it apart as best I can, and stuff like that. And when I get to a real struggling part, that's when I was like, "Fuck, maybe I'll take it to a mechanic."
Well, the good thing now too is you have the internet. The Versas obviously
Yes.
don't have as much as a following as other cars,
No.
but 9 times out of 10 now you can, if it's a car that's pretty popular,
Mhm.
there's forums of pages
Yes.
and pages of stuff,
I found one video of a Nissan Versa 2014.
and they're just launching it off of a hill.
They should. No, they're taking apart the transmission.
Yeah.
And it's one guy in Japan somewhere in his garage. So I'm like, at least they have one video that
There
I
you
can
go.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
That's
something
great.
we
But
can
I'm
take.
glad I know you. So I'm glad
There you
this
go.
connection, this universe came out because my real budget, if I don't have to spend $4,000, I wouldn't mind spending $1,500 to maybe $2,000 to
That's-
getting my transmission
That's
replaced.
totally doable, dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got
Okay.
So, what as 20 fucking cars? That's a lot of cars. And what got you into that?
I
Well,
don't-
because obviously you wanted to be a pilot, a plane mechanic and stuff.
I was messing with cars. I was told that when I was little, I used to take shit apart and put it back together just to see how it worked.
This is before Fast and
Before,
Furious.
yeah. So
that's
even all that stuff, it was like I always messed with cars, and as soon as I had a driver's license, my first car was a 1978 Honda Civic,
Oh, okay.
which was
Hey.
given to and I think you've seen it.
Yeah.
That's my baby. You touch that, I'll probably kill you.
Really? A 97 Honda Civic?
78.
78. Oh,
Yeah.
78.
So
Okay.
it's a first generation Honda Civic, my baby. I got it bone stock and little by little fixed it. No money, so I couldn't fix it. Drove it, blah blah. Blah. Actually, that car, my first accident in it was on Wilshire on Western and 9th.
Oh shit.
Just
Yeah,
because
right
those
here.
fucking people don't know how to
Literally
drive. So-
Right here, it's they have like a little spa right here, right next to the Korean mall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right here.
Yeah.
It's literally right here down the
Damn.
street.
So that was my first accident.
It's
At
in
the
LA,
time,
just in
girlfriend,
case
yeah.
for those
Exactly.
listeners.
But that car was kind of like my test dummy, just kind of doing stuff to it. And then that car wasn't as reliable, so I bought a cheap little car, kind of fixed it. And I just always liked cars. So fixed it, that. And then at a certain point, my fascination, because I think if you're a car person, whatever your first car is, that just kind of becomes like your go-to. That's going to be your brand, to a
brand,
certain
yeah.
to a certain degree. So that became like Hondas, and then it wasn't like I had the newer Civics, the older Civics, and then eventually this car was my baby. Eventually we did this, I did that. So it's a full show car now. It's got a cool little, nice big engine in it and all that stuff. It's all custom fabrication stuff. So I like the newer cars, but I rather have an old car and do stuff that hasn't been done or
Okay.
that very few people have.
And we're not talking like Pimp My Ride kind of thing, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking engine shit.
Engine
and,
swaps,
yeah,
or like
yeah.
full custom suspension,
Nice.
a little bit of everything. Like that car, originally the car came with 56 horsepower. The motor that I threw in there, we had to do full
300.
216 at the point.
Okay.
But it's a 1,400 pound car, so the power to weight ratio is crazy. It's a go kart
Yeah.
on tracks.
That
you
shit
know?
will fly if you put wings on it. It'll fly.
You never know.
He's
But
like, I don't know.
you never know. But still, it's one of those things that just kind of got me going. And then as I became a little bit more successful, hey, here's a cool car. I grab it, fix it up. I flipped a lot of cars, and then there's certain cars that just kind of call my attention, and I just get them. And then, how was it, 5, 6
And you
years
said
ago?
Honda Civic 90, 80, no,
78.
sorry, 78 is your baby.
Yeah.
And that's because I was going to ask, like, what is your favorite car? Is it like the Bullet car or something like that? Like, is there,
No,
but that Civic
I'm
is like,
simple. I'm for the most part. I like all cars, so it's not like
there's no
this
categories?
there's no
Okay,
categories.
okay.
One of my dream cars was always a FJ40, a Toyota FJ40. It's like everybody calls them a Jeep because they kind of look like them, but that was my. And one day, this was a couple years ago, me and my wife were sitting at breakfast. I'm on eBay. I'm like, all right, cool. Put a bid on it. I'm sitting eating. He's like, hey, it looks like I won the car. I was like, fuck.
You're like, damn,
Damn it.
got it.
What about, like,
do all kind of shit to it?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
like-
I had it in my house for like a week, and then I had
It
torn it
just sit-
apart and then started putting it back together. Yeah, it's crazy.
What about like electric cars and stuff, like Teslas and whatnot?
Too new for me. I like the smell of fuel. I like
Oh, okay.
feeling vibrations in the car. I think new cars are cool, but just not my thing.
So all your cars are like older.
Diesel.
Yeah, I have a couple. I've got a couple diesel trucks, and obviously I have a couple of my work trucks. But just a little bit of everything. I feel
Yeah, yeah.
well rounded.
That's crazy. 20 fucking cars, man.
Yeah, and now Joe builds robots, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I built Gundam little mech models.
I tried building one of those.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck, that's a lot
See,
of.
and he
See,
builds
that-
cars. He builds cars.
Where are my tweezers at? Where are my tweezers at?
I actually have a kit. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's right here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got my little
Do you,
kit.
do you
my
have your
tweezers.
glasses with the little magnifying?
That was my next move. That was gonna be my
You
next
don't have
move.
one of those yet?
Here's the thing. No,
I can get you one for your birthday.
Because like I'm building up towards because some of these guys like actually like paint them,
Yeah.
like do fine details to them and stuff. And I've already built like 22 of these models.
Yeah, you're showing me.
Yeah.
Just like
I
lined up.
have them lined up on like right next to my desk. They're all in the boxes, and I'm like, all right, I'm pretty much, you know, past the beginner stage of this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I can build these. I used to like because I built a couple of these when I was a kid. I say like 12, 13 years old. I did build a couple of them, but I was really intimidated by the harder ones.
Yeah.
Because you could get really into detail, like really down to the joints, to
Wires and stuff?
No, it doesn't get down to wires. It's all just click and stuff. But you could get into the details as far as like there's some base models that are just like the skeleton is already built into it, so you don't have to do too much. But like the higher grade models is like you have to put the skeleton together before you put the frames on top of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you
And
have
then
to.
you're building
yeah.
the shells and all that stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty much at that point now, to where maybe I do want to get like the little magnifying glass with it.
You gotta
And-
have had a steady hand for that stuff too.
Yeah,
It's trippy.
you know
Yeah.
what? Years of drinking has given me like a little,
a little bit of shake.
it's a little bit of a shake, but no. But I think I'm at that point where I want to start painting them and doing
Yeah,
actually going into the meticulous portion.
Are
of it
you
because
into all the painting and making them look rustic or beat up or all that, or not?
I
really?
haven't done it yet. That's why I'm at that point where I feel like maybe I want to try that now.
So are you on YouTube watching a bunch of videos on how to do
I
it?
literally have been. I've watched some YouTube videos, and I'm like, okay, maybe I could probably
I got
do this.
this.
Yeah.
And it's really up to the artists themselves. There's
Yeah.
no like template that you have to follow.
Okay.
Like you can really do whatever you want to it. So why not? You know,
Yeah.
like it's a cool little hobby. Like the hardest one I ever had to do took me about 8 hours to do. So
That's still a lot of time.
yeah, and if I decide that I want to actually start painting them and doing like the harder, like the top tier ones, that it could take me like days. It could take me months to finish one. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
if I really wanted to get that intricate into it, which I mean, you can resell those to like collectors and make something out
Something
of
out
it.
of it.
Yeah,
You get your money. You get your time out of it. You think?
no. I don't think you'd get your. It depends.
If,
It depends.
Whatever you feel your
I've,
time
I've,
is
se-
worth.
I've seen some of these go for like $250, $300.
What you
know?
buy them for?
And you can buy one for like $80.
Okay.
So I mean, if you're just trying to,
If you're
you know.
if you're just honing your skills
Yeah.
and making a couple bucks, you're
yeah,
good.
why not? Why not? I mean, I'm not expecting anything out of it.
Right.
and it's something cool that I find very therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll lay my stuff down here on this table. I'll put on like a show that I want to watch, or like an anime or just whatever I watch,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll build my stuff while I'm watching my show. It's therapeutic to me. So
There you go.
I mean, and I'm sure it's the
For your
same.
car,
for you,
Yeah,
right?
for me, it's
Yeah.
the
Working
same
on
thing.
a
It's
car,
like
you're just
I'll have a bunch of parts at home, and then I'll put them together. I'll order parts, and then the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that when you're fucking with your transmission, you're like,
How far apart did you go taking it apart?
I'm down where you can actually see it pretty clearly.
All the gears and everything.
The transmission is still attached to the engine, so
Yeah.
a lot of the tubes are still there because the way these assholes put their shit together, a lot of the connections to the tubes are like hidden behind something else, and I can't reach it. So sometimes I just cut shit off, and I'll just glue it back together because it's super frustrating.
I don't think that's how it works.
That's
you know,
how it
some of those,
I got some
actually have
crazy glue. I think I got it.
Yeah,
like, no,
Yeah.
some of these are
It's-
pressure
it's getting kind of
hoses and shit.
yeah. Well, some of the electrical hoses that wraps around the wires are like they use these crazy clips where you have to pinch to push them out, and some of them are like right where the tire is underneath the hood. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's super frustrating. So
It's frustrating when it's on the ground and you're trying to do it on the ground versus being
Yeah.
on the lift and all that
Lifted.
stuff.
yeah, I
It's
don't
all
have
done.
all that stuff.
You
And
can get under it. And
yeah. And
Yeah.
it's really just this one fucking bolt that if I didn't strip the bit and I could pull it out and I can take off that air intake because wires went underneath it
Yeah.
to clip to other shit, I wouldn't be as frustrated with it because I can remove the wires and then
You'd have
move them over the
almost an
side.
open canvas to
Exactly.
get it. Go for it.
But this one fucking bolt wants to screw up my life, and that's the only frustrating thing because kind of like I've put things together and taken apart, so I can take pictures and know how to put it back, but a lot of it is just muscle
doing
memory.
it,
I
yeah.
know what I touched and removed. I know what to put it back.
Yeah, you know how to reverse engineer it
Easily.
and put it right back.
Yeah, and one credit to modern engineering is that they do design some of these things so that
It already has bend and
yeah,
everything. It's
it
like,
is
oh,
custom.
this
It only
one's
fits one way, so that's kind of cool. But fuck Nissan. The way
So-
they make their cars.
How?
Even though my favorite car is the Nissan 32X GTR,
All right,
before Fast and Furious.
there you go.
So you're at. I mean, you didn't really have any expectations with the car anyway. You had kind of given
No.
up on it. So
No, the reason why I did it was sitting in my garage, and I've been contemplating with Joe what to do: replace the transmission, get a new car, blah blah. Blah. And for like 3 months or 4 months, it's been sitting there. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, fuck. If I'm just replacing a part, I'm not building a whole new transmission from scratch.
Yeah,
If I just remove pieces as I go along every day, by
Yeah.
now I would have had it popped out, and I could have had another one put in.
yeah.
And that's what got me going to like, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to do it. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but but I had 4 months to replace one on my
Replace it,
own.
yeah.
When a mechanic could probably did it in like a day or a week.
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
crazy.
you have to pick your battles. There's certain stuff, especially with even engines or any of
Mhm.
that, you gotta, unless you specialize in it, it just doesn't make sense to try to figure it out. Sometimes internals on stuff, sometimes it just works weird.
Yeah.
Versus you're like, oh no, I got it. It's not, especially with the CVT or CVT
yeah,
transmission.
I hate the way
They
and it
were
has to be
weird.
programmed too.
Yeah.
I know I can't do
a lot
that.
a lot of electronics built into it versus old school Chevy engine with a 350 tranny, and it's just like done.
That's what I was
easy.
hoping when I
Yeah,
was
you
hoping
done.
I could just Fast and Furious it or Need for
Yeah.
Speed, just replace a part. It's like
I'm just
nope.
I'm just waiting till my car just.
craps out.
Yeah, I mean, I maintain it.
That's all you gotta do. Hondas run forever, dude.
Yeah,
You
I should
you'll
have
get,
a Honda.
you'll
It
get
makes-
tired. You'll get tired of
Yeah.
them before they run out.
it makes weird noises and shit, but I don't care. Like
He's put on
Yeah.
the
it
loud-
still
music
it
a little bit
still
louder.
works for me. I
Yeah.
I still run it. I get the oil. I do all the maintenance on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, as long as I continue to do that, I don't really have a fear that it's gonna shit out on me.
No.
But yeah, I'm
It'll
sure
just
one
be the
day
wear
I'm-
and tear parts.
Yeah, it's all wear and tear shit.
Yeah.
Like it has like this funny little squeal that it does.
It's a
But,
cute
you know,
squeal.
Yeah, it'll go away. It always
There you
goes
go.
away.
Yep.
But I don't know. I feel like why replace it if I don't really need to?
Well,
And
what's
I'm not really trying to impress anybody.
yeah? You just want it to
do-
work.
Yeah, I've done so much shit with that car. I've put truss on the top. I've dude, I've packed it with like corner blocks to the brim. Like I've
Yeah.
I've done
You put a
done
corner
everything.
block in there?
I've been able to put like four.
We're not the cement
two,
corner.
three-
Oh no,
no,
corner
no,
blocks,
corner
corner blocks.
blocks,
I'm thinking.
corner blocks.
I'm thinking of.
ballast.
I've been,
Yeah,
I'm thinking
Like,
ballast.
how many ballasts is
I've been
throwing?
able to put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 corner
12 corner
blocks
blocks?
at
Okay.
least in that
Yeah.
that car inside
The steel or the aluminum corner blocks?
aluminum.
I thought you had some steel
No,
ones.
we don't have steel.
Oh.
Come on, man.
It's been a
It's
long
been a while.
time.
It's been a
I
while.
thought there was 2 different types of you work with truss.
No.
They make steel truss?
No.
No?
No.
Only aluminum trusses?
Yeah.
It's okay, Keith. Don't worry about it.
Fuck.
It's been a while, pal. And you want to get back into this industry?
Well, I mean,
I'm
drawing
pretty
drawing
sure
is
you-
not so bad.
It wouldn't be hard
Well,
for you to get
I
back
didn't get
on
the
saddle.
benefits. I wanted to go to the stages and be behind stage and travel to all these places. I couldn't even travel. I think the first I traveled through that company was Long Beach. And I was like,
That's crazy because
Yeah.
our drafters come out now sometimes. So
because I've been begging for it. And then when
Well, I
leave-
remember when you had a couple new guys, you brought them out, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Hey, they just kind of get the hang of it,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just to get,
more
kind of get
hands-on
visuals on
visuals
it.
and shit."
It helps. But the lure, again, the same lure of you wanting to work on planes and stuff like that, was that I was asked during the job interview, hey, do you have a passport? Because we might have to send you to China or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh yeah, I'm going to China next
Yeah.
week.
And then Long Beach.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, this isn't China.
No.
This is Long Beach, the
like-
LBC.
Yeah.
Quite familiar with this place.
The lure and attraction that people do with school, jobs,
Well,
everything.
the expectation. Sorry, the expectation is that you might be able to travel if
Yeah.
you need to, because we have had some drafters go out and we've had some
To
drafters
Miami?
come out to San Francisco to
Yeah.
watch a job, or to Arizona, or to Las Vegas. So
Mhm.
it has happened.
Mm.
You just weren't fortunate enough to be part of any of those trips.
Oh my God. Same with LDI.
I
I
think-
asked for LDI and I did. I've had one opportunity to go and I still couldn't go. Such
They're
bullshit.
whatever, man.
I know, but
It's
you
all the
went.
same stuff over and
They're all
over again.
Dick
I never
measuring
went.
contests. That's all it is, man.
I just wanted to see it.
That
That's all.
one's just the big wigs coming out and
yeah,
and
it's a
Yeah.
dick
flexing.
measuring contest. Everybody's
It's
like,
all
"Oh, I can
flexing.
do
Oh
this."
yeah, I got this. Like, I'll take 100 of those. Like,
How
this,
much
that.
business actually gets done over
Probably
there?
none.
it just
No, it's
depends.
probably more
No.
partying than
It's
anything.
a lot
Which
of
is
Like
why I
partying.
people,
wanted to
like
go.
people that are there. There's people that spend 3-4 days there.
Yeah.
I can. The times I've gone, I've left here at 4 in the morning. Got there at 8 or 9. Had breakfast. Walked in. Walked the floor. I saw everything I needed.
You
Came
I'm
back
home.
out.
I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm back home by 5-6 p.m.
Yeah.
Where
You
some
can
people
literally
be
walk
just
that
partying and-
floor in like 2 hours.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I would go for the partying part.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we go for.
I just
sloppy.
wish I was in a position where I could experience that. It was kind of like a not check mark. What do you call it? A bucket list thing.
Bucket list
to
thing.
be a part of a.
And Joe
Cool.
just never said, "Hey, I
no,
got
he
you."
didn't.
Here's
I
the thing.
didn't. No.
At the time,
Asking help from
well,
Joe.
well, when
please.
Keenan was working for the company at the time, I was still fairly new.
Mhm.
I was.
You were. I left
Yeah,
less
I'd
than a
only
year
been-
since when you were there, right?
No, I think I'd been there for
For a
year.
year when I left.
Oh, it was
I would
almost
say-
2
I thought it
years.
was
I
less.
think it was almost 2 years.
I think it was less than that. I think you were new, new.
I don't know. Anyway, so
Anyway.
at the time I was kind of new to it, so I couldn't be like, "Yo, Keenan, you're coming with me to such and such."
Hey, we're going. Let's go.
Yeah.
now
Pack
it's
your
like,
shit.
"Hey, let's go take this trip."
Even the
Better.
guy before Joe's name was Carlos. He made it seem like I would go with him on trips and travel to places, and he would show me pictures of where he went because he kind of was a drafter, but he also kind of was doing like Herman's job too. So he was doing like a lot of other things where he needed to be there. I don't know.
I think everyone that works at Accurate does
Yeah.
more things that they're
should be doing.
technically supposed to do.
Yeah, their job title
Yeah.
covers more
Very
than their job
flexible,
title.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very flexible title.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just two things I would like to experience in the business world, or at least corporate world, if I could, where it's going to one of those conventions, you know, with my coworkers and drinking and having fun and doing the other side stuff.
Well, I've invited you out to like come out to do things.
No.
I have.
Lies.
I have. Kenan.
Wow.
I have.
Wow, you lie. Oh my god.
Last year I told you to come out to Coachella because I had a suite and shit.
Did we go? Did you?
That's not
send
my
me?
fault.
Yeah.
That's not my fault.
My
You didn't
ass.
come out.
My ass. You were lying.
You were expecting the
Son of
private
a-
plane
I know,
to
he-
pick you up and all that.
I didn't even get like a time, a location, an address. I'm pretty sure you even asked me on like a day I was working too.
It was
It was last year.
weekend. Yeah.
No,
Yeah. It was
no, it was like Friday or something.
whatever, Kenan.
Trash.
Whatever.
You didn't have enough room for me.
You're my
Lies.
best friend.
Anyway,
Shut up. So these fires, fucking crazy, right?
Oh,
yep.
These crazy. Oh man, like just the fact that they're happening all along the West Coast is just fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like it's happening in
Conspiratorial,
Oregon.
isn't it? Almost conspiratorial.
There's some crazy. There's some crazy ones in Colorado too.
Oh yeah.
Colorado,
really?
Oregon, they both have some crazy.
I know for
Oregon,
sure
for sure,
Oregon.
for sure.
Yeah, I have some friends that live in Oregon that are experiencing like, and obviously like here, even in San Francisco, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Yeah, everybody's posting pictures of like the whole
orange.
sky's
Orange,
orange,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
crazy.
I
It's like-
actually just saw a video. One of my friends posted of some firefighters that were doing like a helicopter flyover,
Mhm.
and like they have like maelstroms and shit happening. Like it's crazy. Like you see like nothing but charred and just burning
Right,
shit,
right.
and then you see like a little fire tornado and shit.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
just thinking about like what else does 2020 have to offer us? Like
Did you see the satellite photos of that though? There's a
No, I haven't
whether or
seen
not it's fake or not, but there's a satellite photo showing, and they like kind of digitally mapped out where the states are, and then
Mhm.
they show the smoke that's covering pretty much the western
Oh yeah.
part of the country.
I
Yep.
mean, yeah, we're going. I mean, today was probably one of the clearer skies
Clear
that
as
we've
days,
had,
yeah, in a while.
right?
Yeah.
And even then, it was still
Yeah.
a little smoky. But
Yeah.
it's just this year is fucking not playing with us.
And it started off with a fire, right? Wasn't January the Brazilian fire or the Australian fire?
Australia, yeah, Australia had their
The crazy
super
one.
massive fire because of their
Mhm.
heat
Yeah.
wave.
Right.
And then the Amazon was burning for
Yeah.
how long?
Yeah, oh, that was last year, wasn't
Wasn't
it?
that last year?
I thought that
Probably
was
still
this year.
Continuing, I don't know, man.
I thought that was early
I
this
think it
year.
was late last year, maybe.
Okay.
Just thinking about like
This
it's
year's
been
almost
one
gone,
thing
man.
after another,
Mhm.
after another,
Mhm.
after another, and we still have 3 months to go.
Mhm.
Like, shit,
yeah.
man.
And I still got to pay back my loans no matter what.
Oh yeah,
That's when I
gonna-
know it's bad, when I
gonna be
don't
a
have to
lo-
pay my loans back.
that's crazy that
Yeah.
you've had a deferment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of this,
Oh, no,
you've
no.
been living your best life.
No,
In,
I've been
in
living my best life,
quarantine.
but it turns out I still owe my student loans.
Well, yeah, of course you still owe them.
But I haven't gotten deferment.
Oh.
My mom and I just told them, like, we can't afford it,
Yeah.
so we can't pay you.
We had zero money or
Yeah,
coming in.
because
or
she's
whatnot.
the co-signer. She got laid off from her job.
That's right. You told me that.
So it's
couple
like
weeks
there's
ago.
no way
Yeah.
me or my co-signer, if we're both not working or trying to find work.
Yeah.
Now
to
has
pay
she
it.
been furloughed, or they completely like
It
just?
started off as a furlough, then it was just like, I don't know. It's debatable. I think.
Right.
Let's just say she's still furloughed.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's about
So,
that.
People have had to like adjust
mhm.
their lifestyle
Oh yeah.
because of this. Like,
That's
just
true. Maybe if I did get a job before COVID and COVID never hit, I probably would be okay.
you're still okay. What are you
Well,
talking
yeah,
about?
I'm okay now, but I mean, like, I'd probably be at a legit 9 to 5 right now if we didn't have COVID.
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
there, but there's
Yeah.
not going to be a regular 9 to 5 for
Yeah.
a lot of stuff from now on because I guess there are a bunch of studies of how people are being more productive at home than
People have adjusted to
Yeah.
what this lifestyle is,
Mm.
and companies are like, wait a minute.
we don't
what
have
do
to
you
have
mean
this
we
massive
don't?
building with a bunch of people.
Exactly.
Just have them work from home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
It should have been the turn of their digital era with internet and stuff like that.
Thinking about it, it should have.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's still like these businesses that need to have
Yeah.
their.
It's one of those things that
employees.
at the end of the day, some people, there's some job titles that need people there building
Yeah.
it and seeing it. Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I could do my job from home.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes
there's also
you just
the
need it.
comfort, of knowing, like, I could go out into the shop and
just
check
ask. Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
if something is there.
Yeah. Hey, I need you to count something for me.
Yeah.
It takes
Yeah.
an hour versus you walking out.
Yeah, versus me going out and seeing, okay, I have that, and that.
Yeah.
Do any of you know people who have like houses or land that's been burnt down from the fires at all?
I actually don't.
Mm.
But I have friends who have been in the area. Their shit hasn't burnt down though, but they're pretty close
Yeah, they
to
were
it.
been
Close?
evacuated and stuff
yeah,
like that. Same thing.
I've had people evacuated and stuff, but their homes haven't burnt
Yeah, no.
down, which is pretty
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's good.
But imagine having to live through this quarantine and then your home burns,
Right?
and it's like, dude, what?
Yeah.
the
Well, just
fuck?
this last heat wave was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like crazy,
Yeah.
120 degrees in some parts of
Yeah.
of
What-
LA.
Was it was it
Chatsworth?
Woodland Hills?
Woodland
hit
Hills,
like
yeah.
122.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
Yeah, like out Chino was like 120, 125 at one point. Like,
Damn.
dude, oh man,
And it's been increasingly too. I would say what maybe the past 5 years or so. Every year there's been like a record heat wave happening, and it's just continuing to grow.
Right.
I wonder. And I mean, I don't know, like how many of our listeners believe in like climate change and shit. Shit is fucking real.
All of them. You are not our listeners if you don't believe in that.
No, but thinking about like how, like you said, every year progressively shit has gotten a little worse and worse and worse.
And it won't be catastrophic. It won't be like tomorrow into tomorrow.
Oh
kind of
yeah,
thing.
no, it's
Right.
not gonna like anything like that.
But
But
there'll be
then you also
signs.
think of like the seasonal or the things like El Nino,
Mhm.
where they don't come every year.
Yeah.
They come like every 3-4 years.
Something
The El
like that,
Nino
yeah.
situation happens. But imagine if our weather is getting worse and worse incrementally, what's gonna happen like when those events actually happen? Like,
Right.
those
That-
are going to be even worse.
Yeah.
Like thinking about it, like, oh,
That's
shit.
what
Well, they're just
that's
happening
what's
more
happening.
often and shit
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
right?
Or
Because
to the point where it's
wasn't
El
it
Nino
Texas?
is like just
Wasn't
a
it
thing.
Texas that had high heat and then the next day it was snowing?
Yeah,
That was just
Yeah.
recently too, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, it's like
Wow.
it dropped like 40. The temperature changed like
Like
40
how?
degrees in a day.
And then the conspiracy theorists would be like, oh, it's the satellites. They got the
Or
what's it called?
That
What's that satellite that they have? Or that what's it called?
not SETI. What is it? I know
You're
exactly what you're talking about.
s-
I
That weather manipulation.
Yeah.
Shit, I can't remember
I don't
what
think
it's
of
called.
it. Do you have it in your phone?
He's like, no,
Oh.
I'm looking at that shit.
Yeah, no,
I thought you were looking it up for us.
no, no.
Shit.
So who has type if
No,
you can
he's doing
type
his
in
thing.
weather manipulating device.
I got it.
If you
I
can.
got it. Hold on.
That's a lot of hard words for me.
Oh, we can get your wife
I'll
to
have
do it.
to, I'll have to call my wife
Yeah.
and have her look for it for me. It's like, how do you spell that?
I forgot what it's called. It's like an acronym. It's a famous
Yeah,
acronym.
it is. It is.
And like the guy who did not McAfee, but like some dude who was into like computers and stuff. built it.
It's a fucking.
I'm making shit up right now. Horribly. Some genius wealthy dude create this program and it's like trying to communicate with aliens, but people think it's like trying to make earthquakes and stuff like that. Are you looking for the right thing, Joe?
I am. I'm looking.
What's
for
it called?
I'm looking.
What did you type in Google?
I put weather controlling satellite.
Not satellite. Just put weather control. God dang it. Where's my phone? My phone's charging.
Weather manipulation. How about that?
Well, okay. While Joe's looking at that, let's talk into like, since we're on the topic of conspiracy theories type stuff. Are you somewhat interested? Are you like a wanna believer kind of guy, or
I see it, and then some seem
pretty out there?
pretty out there, but then there's some that you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
really, if you really think about it, it
Yeah.
can happen and not happen. Yeah, it's one of those.
True.
Yeah.
The
Harp.
Harp. That's it.
HARP.
Okay.
It's called
Who
HARP.
created Harp? Does it say it's supposed to be like?
It's- The U.S.
No.
Yeah, it says
No.
program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force.
jointly.
The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, HARP, was initiated as an ionospheric research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force,
And
the U.S. Navy, the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA.
I was thinking of DARPA. That's what I was thinking of.
Well, you're not thinking clearly.
Shut the. You know. Anyway,
Yeah, so some people will say it's weather manipulation, but like, I don't know, man.
Well, isn't it that there's also waves of it, so you'll have a couple of years of it getting super hot, and
Yeah,
then
it comes
then it
down,
starts
yeah.
comes down,
Yeah.
and then lows, and then highs.
and that's
so-
where the anti-conspiracy theorists are like, it's just natural nature. Obviously, it'll get high at some point, and it'll come back down, and it'll do its natural thing.
Yeah.
But the people who are really trying to study this global warming, it's like, no, that peaks of it going high or up to high keep getting higher and higher. That should be the more concern. Yes, we know it goes naturally up and down.
The limits are getting
Yeah,
higher.
yeah.
But that all has to do with all the pollution and all the other shit that goes with
Right.
it. You know?
Exactly.
It's all
Right.
like shit we're throwing up there.
All those
Exactly.
cars that we got.
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
saying, okay, so guys, you know how we have like a hole in the ozone layer, right?
Yeah.
So they're saying that when we started this quarantine shit, that hole actually closed a little bit.
Yep.
And now because everybody's getting
Little come back.
comfortable and everything is starting to open up again, it's
Yeah.
like we're fucking horrible human beings.
Yes, we are.
We're like the fucking worst.
America.
And
Can't have anything nice.
we
No.
can't. We really can't.
No.
We can't even have this Earth. Damn it.
No. That's why I like the
Jeez.
The Matrix line where Agent Smith was like, "We're a virus that just multiplies and destroys things in its path and keep on multiplying."
We're
It's a great,
absolutely that.
It's a great line.
It is.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah.
We just suck up this Earth's resources.
If you just look at us from an outside perspective,
our benefits.
for
Yeah,
our
for
benefit,
our benefit.
not even thinking about like future generations.
and there's some out there who will, but compared to the masses,
Like I feel like Gavin, like they'll be all right.
Yeah.
he's gonna be that dude in those movies with like the goggles.
Yeah, but
Book
like
of Eli.
But
I'm
imagine
thinking
how
2
technology is going to
generations
be
from-
like that. Also.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, we're hoping that the advancement of technology, because we look at the 80s and the 70s and what they thought,
Flying cars,
the
mhm,
2000s
never happened.
were going to be.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
2013 was right down the corner, and apparently in Back to the Future we're going to be flying and shit. But that didn't happen.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
we're hoping that science is going to advance, and there are going to be some advancements that are just going to change the way we live, and what's the phrase that I'm thinking, the quality of life. But
yeah.
30 years later, and we're not much different from what Back to the Future was at the time.
no,
So it's just, or even something like 1984. I don't know if you guys have read that novel.
we were forced
Like-
to read it in high school.
Yeah, like you think
I
of
think
that.
my wife read it twice.
So she knows it.
she knows
knows
it. Yeah,
But you see that, and like that system was all like fucked up. And that was 1984. So that's what they thought their future was going to be like. So
Yeah.
we're a little better off than that, but
a little bit. But we're supposed to be putting chips in our brain eventually or soon or something like that. With
Yeah,
and we
that's
have our
what-
new
that's what
driver's
Elon
license.
Musk-
what's a phone already? You know,
It is.
Putting
Yeah.
a
It's-
chip on.
it's
next
outside of
ear
our
at
system.
some
Yeah,
point.
you can basically think of we're technically we're already cyborgs, because a phone is already like an extension of
Where's my phone?
ourselves.
Where's my
Yeah.
phone? Yeah.
You can't
Exactly.
walk outside of your house and without like, oh shit, my phone.
yeah.
And if you forget your phone, you're like, oh, you're all
You're-
fucked up all
you're
day.
fucked
Like,
all
oh
day.
my
Exactly.
gosh, what am I supposed to do? Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
we have a new challenge for our listeners. Go the longest you can without your phone.
Y'all challenge yourselves, man, because I can't do that. You go ahead. You guys go ahead. Tell me how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Post it on IG. I'll check it.
Okay. Oh yeah.
No, but that's what, like,
Oh, yeah.
phones.
Yeah.
Phones are a perfect example. Like,
Yep.
they're
It's a
already
piece of you, no
extension.
matter what.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're already
they're-
an extension. And what do? We just upgrade our phone. We want to get the new advancement.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bigger,
But
better.
it still holds a huge portion of our life.
Yeah,
Like,
back then you used to have to memorize numbers. Now
Yeah.
you're lucky, you know.
Yeah.
A couple.
you don't have to remember a number.
I don't
anymore.
just know
Like,
number. I don't know his number at all.
I don't. Well, I kind of know yours because you've had it for like 20
I did.
years and shit.
I
Nice.
never changed mine. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, it's area
Oh,
code
really?
32 No,
Oh my god. Yeah.
I
Get
do-
some random
I-
calls.
It's crazy
Yeah.
because I think I do know your number.
You probably
like,
do, because I haven't changed it since college. I've
Yeah.
had that number
You've had it
for
forever.
a long time. Yeah,
Damn.
even when I switched different companies from AT&T to T-Mobile, kept the same number, make it easy to type in.
I think this is probably the longest I've had a number. I've had my number for like 11 years.
I still don't know it.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's not your fault, Keith. I blame the system.
Oh, okay.
No, but that's what
You
I'm
have
saying.
to-
I blame these phones. Like I blame.
That's not our fault that we
It's-
just
it's-
don't that we adapt too easily, or that we.
I don't think it's our fault. I think that's just society. Like
Convenience. We like everything
Yeah.
conveniently
Yeah,
given to us.
that is
Yeah.
our fault. We are that society. We are that people.
I think individually, it's not our fault.
No.
No, I think it's society and the advancement of society. Like this is just the way it is.
Yeah,
Like,
but isn't society made of people?
that's what I'm
us?
saying. I just said that individually, it's not our fault.
Okay.
We're just born into this society, and we just adhere to what society has developed into. Am I sounding like a fucking crazy person?
I
you guys
think
are
you
looking
are.
at me like a fucking idiot. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I just trying to be too woke?
No, I'm just happening right now. I'm just saying it comes off because I agree with you, and I am
Society's
understanding,
fault.
but it's coming off like when somebody's talking about the government, they keep saying they, them, those. You know, it's like, who are you talking about in the government? They keep doing it. It's them. It's those. Who? Who's they?
Big brother.
Yep.
And even when you say stuff like that, or the man, what's the name of the man? Is he just
Donald
AKA
Trump.
Mr. Honky? Oh, okay, Donald Trump. Well, if you put a name like that.
No, it's definitely not Donald Trump.
But there is a name there. So when people say they, them, there,
The
when they're
Rothschilds.
when they're talking about, put anything Rothschilds,
Coach
or
or Coke.
the Koch brothers. Yeah, it's just like,
And
That's
that
better.
Just all depends on how deep you
How
want to
deep
get
you
into
want to
it.
get
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
rabbit hole? all
Into
of a
the
sudden.
rabbit hole, because
but it's better understanding instead of just saying them.
I'm
you know?
gonna say, okay, QAnon.
Oh my god.
I have to do it, Keenan. I have to do it every episode.
John, I don't force him to say it. He's on his own. I don't
That's just
know.
part of the show now. But I have to admit, like, I was susceptible to the whole QAnon idea when it first entered my
And that's not society putting it on you. That's you as an individual.
I mean, I was introduced to it by others, so I'm gonna blame it on somebody else.
On others, but those others have names.
No, but
right?
but what I'm saying is, yeah, I like when I first heard about QAnon and I started like looking into it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really happening, and then the further I got into it, I'm like, wait a minute, okay, some of that is crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. I accept that. So you kind of have to pick and choose.
Pick and choose what you're going to believe
what
and not believe.
you're gonna believe
Okay.
and not believe.
yeah, which is what we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because I could have gone the completely different route and become like a fucking
full on.
full-on QAnon
Lizard people controlling our
lizard
government.
people controlling
Yeah.
our government by eating the babies. Like, but that's just fucking nuts.
And
Like,
then what
I
happens
live
when you
in a
find
rea-
out that
I-
that's true, though?
Then it's true. The same way, because
Yeah.
I'm atheist,
Yeah.
so I don't believe in God.
Mhm.
But the second that it happens, I'm be like, wow, that's
does
fucking
exist.
crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hi, God.
Well,
I
didn't
guess I
believe
fucked
you.
up.
But there
So
you are.
hell's that door?
So
over
I'll
there?
have, I'll have to face that when it happens.
Okay.
But right now, it's not
Yeah.
happening, so
Yeah.
I'm
Which
not
is-
going to believe it.
And
Like,
that's perfectly great. I like that example where it's like, and when I see it, I will
Yeah, I'm not-
concede and be
I'm
like,
not gonna-
okay,
Yeah, I understand that for some people, they don't
They can't do
believing
that.
is what it is. Like, you believe, and that's what gives you the hope, and that's what sets your place in whatever heaven
Yeah,
is
some
or
people,
whatever.
some people just need something to
Yeah,
believe
they
in.
need
Yes.
They need
Yeah.
that to feed them their hope and
or
their
something to
ambitions.
blame or
Right.
something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
You need that. Like, I'm not that individual that's going to say, God did this for me or the devil did this to me. Like, no, I'm not that dude. I'm like, anything that happens or is a result of an action that I took or the result of another person's action towards me. And that's just what it is. Like, I don't go further into that. So I'm not thinking, like, again, with QAnon, and if it ends up being lizard people that are eating the babies to fucking live forever. And, like, then if that is the fucking case, I've been living in a completely different world. Like, and again, the same with religion. If that ends up happening, I'm like, oh, shit, well, there it is. I was wrong.
It is what it is.
I was wrong. And then if God or whatever the entity, cosmic entity that exists above everything else, like is an understanding and forgiving individual, then they'll understand that I believed what I believed, and it, you know.
Well, what about, couldn't you
Is what it is.
go and find, like, aside from religion, but for at least for the QAnon stuff, that seems more tangible for you to go out and find the information yourself. Like,
yeah, and again, because I've read what I've read and all these things, but in contrast to reality, the reality that I actually live, I've never fucking met a lizard person.
well, I know, but not,
You
not
know, like
not-
I've never
yeah,
been in a situation. It's like when you know, for some people they believe in ghosts,
yeah.
and it's like I've never
I actually have one, so that's totally
like
true.
I've never, but that's what I'm saying. Until the moment that I actually see something like there, and it's there, like, oh shit, it's undeniable that it's right there in front of me.
Okay, I don't
I
see
can't
my
say
ghost,
that,
You
but
just have a feeling, you get goosebumps.
but it's all over my body, so I make
It's all over your body.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
risky ghost.
it's a very touchy one. That's why I don't have a girlfriend. But
Hey,
I make sure I go to sleep before 3:30 because the quote unquote ghost appears between the hours of 3:30 and 5:30 in the morning, and that's for me it was such a guarantee that I've made sure that I go to sleep before 3:30. So
that's why you quit the game every night. You're like, hey guys, I gotta
55,
go.
my alarm rings. I gotta go. I gotta go.
Like, oh my god! What do you mean it's 2:55? Oh my god! I gotta go, guys.
Exactly. It's not an occurrence that happened where it's like it's coincidental. It's an occurrence that happens so consistently that I've now changed my sleeping patterns to avoid it.
Wow.
That's how I know it's somewhat. It's
Just your neighbor just fucking with you.
Yeah, it's not a ghost.
The crackheads in the alley just fucking around.
On top of my roof making well, I know for sure a lot of the noises are the cats and whatnot. It's not the building itself.
Yeah.
But when there's no fan on, there's no wind, the doors are closed, I get a chill, and then my whole body tingles, and I can feel the bed and the blankets and stuff moving. Not anything else, but where I'm at, I can feel it moving and shifting. So what I do at the time, before it was just what I thought a coincidence, I would move and shift my pattern around. I would make noises. I would turn on a radio and play music.
Right.
And then the times I forget to do that, and it happens,
and then
I'm
they're
like,
tugging
fuck.
at your leg.
I'm going to go to sleep before
Tugging at you like, oh.
3. Yeah, I would check the time. It happens so much. I checked the time. I was like, okay, this happens at like 4,
Oh,
4:30.
shit. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
You
going to
don't
go to
think
bed.
that's just
for
your exhaustion, or just like
It can be
tired?
anything
It's all mind
else.
tricks at the end of the
It can-
day.
yeah.
You can convince yourself to believe anything. At
Bro,
the end
I
of the
thought
day.
I was
Easily.
having a heart attack,
Easily.
and it's just me psyching myself out.
Well, it doesn't. Oh, really? Heart attack?
Yeah,
When you had that chest pain?
yeah. When I had that chest
Oh,
pain, and I was
yeah.
I drove myself to the emergency room thinking
Oh,
I was
yeah?
having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And it was
And
just
they said it was like either like a weird muscle spasm
Yeah.
or
Oh,
something.
okay.
that's what the
Okay.
doctor told me. He's
Okay.
like, "Hey, you might have like a torn ligament or something,
Oh, yeah.
or that gives you the pain in
it's
your
something
arm."
physical, though.
And they were like, "You know what happened?
Yeah.
You probably you had a panic attack because you thought you were having a heart attack, so your mind was like, yo, you're having a heart attack. Oh my gosh!' So you gave yourself a panic attack."
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
He's
It
like,
can be something
He's like,
else.
this happens a lot.
Yeah.
He's like, you seem healthy. You seem your heart is fine. Your
Yeah.
lungs are fine.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
like, I don't
open.
see any signs of you having like some type of heart attack. Like it's not like your cholesterol.
And that's
is
what
up
you
or
make
anything.
it think, so
And
you
I was
faked
like,
it out.
all right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But
for
something's
sure.
still physically.
Your mind can do so many things. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
But there's still a sign there of something not wrong, but that happened that triggered.
Did you have the pain or was it just the arm?
it was an
Those
arm pain, like
Yeah.
arm numbness, and he was like, "Hey, you might have some damaged ligaments." in
But
your
there's
arm."
something there. It's not like your body is 100% fine and you thought you had a heart attack.
Did it go away pretty quick? or
that's
was
a-
it just
Oh yeah,
That's some physical evidence there.
It lingered for a little bit, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was gone. Like,
I'm open to the idea. It's just that because it's too weird of a feeling, it's just I rather avoid it.
Well, I just think that's definitely something that I've experienced some stuff, but my wife was always told me of how when she was smaller and then went to El Salvador, her family, they were all into the saints and all that stuff and calling
stuff.
spirits
Yeah.
and all that shit. And she's like, "Oh yeah, my grandma's house. That's no fucking joke. It's like you got people fucking grabbing you, doing all types of crazy shit." I was like, "Yeah, that's fucking nuts."
Yeah,
and she believes it. And,
Yeah.
and she's like, if it wasn't for me actually living through it as a little kid, I wouldn't necessarily believe it. But he's like, but if you fuck around with certain stuff enough, bad shit can come and fucking do that. I feel
Bad energies.
bad energies at the end of the day.
The last thing I haven't done, thank God I don't hear like noises or like get out or some weird shit like that, because then I would shit myself. No.
You gotta put a tape recorder in there. Now.
Yeah.
Just put
But
it
in
at
reverse,
Exactly.
Then he's gonna need a mirror.
Oh, you guys. Oh, what?
How do you translate audio? My mirror.
Watch it actually work. And I can see the creature in my mirror.
Keenan, I'm trying.
It's like, well, you get this, D. Get all butt
Finally,
naked.
somebody.
But no, I haven't recorded between those hours. I don't think I want to record to see what happens.
Why not? Give it a
Because what if
shot.
something was there?
Who cares? At least now you have a record of it, and you can show it me and be
Show
like,
proof.
"Yo, what?"
Yeah, I wasn't fucking around.
I know. I'd be like, "Yo, damn, Keenan, that's crazy."
But now I know I have to go to sleep before 3:30.
you already know you have to sleep
I
before
do. That's
3:30.
true.
But do you
That's
tire
true.
yourself out in order to do it, or is it before?
I have to
or-
figure something. Either I
but
drink,
you
rub
usually
one
have-
out, or I play something. That's like.
But
really
you're
boring.
usually out by 1.
I usually am, unless I'm playing video games or watching the boys or.
You almost never stay up
till 3
with us. Yeah.
No,
'cause
no.
We'll be playing like weekends.
Oh, you guys playing
and
on like all
play
night?
Call
We'll
of
be
Duty,
going. Yeah. Like last night.
Joe go
I
to
think we
fucking
went to sleep
4.
like at 4 in the morning.
Holy shit!
Yeah, we were.
I can't do that shit.
Very intense game. And then one of our friends, he does like he does graveyard shifts. So he's up. Like,
Oh,
he's
that's
up
why
just chilling.
Akshay's
yeah,
on there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, you didn't know Akshay does graveyard shifts?
That's right. He did get a new job.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he does graveyard shifts.
So he's just chilling. in
So
office
yeah,
there.
this is his daytime. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
right now is his morning. Like maybe.
Yeah, he just starts like
Yeah.
at 6 p.m.
So
Yeah.
so yesterday I was about to get off. It was like 2 in the morning, and I'm like getting ready to get off. I'm like, all right, guys, well we'll see you tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, I got
And
the
then-
headphones and the
Yeah.
mics and all that stuff.
And then well, mine doesn't. Mine is like built in.
Yeah.
Fancy.
But I was about to log off, and then boom, I get the invite from him, and I'm like, oh shit. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? Let's go.
Let's go
And I'm
again.
like, all right, let's fucking go. That's what I was telling Keenan. I was like, we were about to get off. I was like, about to say, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a big ass kid. I love playing video games. And now, you know, with Gavin, like,
Yeah.
I've introduced him to that, to the game world, and just like all the things that I like. And what's crazy is like a lot of things that he just ended up liking. Some of them I didn't even have to introduce him to him, like, because the media has done such a great job of just trying to revive like old franchises and
Oh,
things like
dude,
that.
yeah.
Like, I didn't introduce Gavin to Ninja Turtles. Like, he learned about that on his own.
Yeah, yeah.
And because of that, like, I was able to tell him, oh, well, this is not new, buddy. This is like,
Yeah.
I used to watch this when I was a kid. Let me show you the old shit. And then he sees the old stuff and he's like, whoa, this is awesome. Wow. And then he just like was super into it. And then the same thing with like, I play Call of Duty. I played it a lot when I was younger. Like 10 years ago, Call of Duty was like fresh and new and everything. And I played that. So then, you know, Gavin, I introduced him to the new Call of Duty, and like with him and I, he knows that he can't play with anybody outside of my circle. Like,
Right.
he doesn't play with, like, he can't talk
Well, that's
to
the
anybody
biggest
outside
thing
of
that
it.
like
Yeah.
still kind of like my kid's 14 now, and he's into all the retro shit, cassette players.
Oh, yeah.
fucking-
Yeah.
He's got. We've tried to collect almost every system, so he's got all of them. But he's like an old soul. He's into
All the
80s
old shit,
music,
yeah.
all of it. You know, it's like for Christmas we bought him like an old Sony tape deck. And he's like, "Oh, I want to make my own tapes." So he's
Okay.
making like his own mixtapes, which is kind of cool.
Yes,
And I was
see?
like, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you how to do it." He's like, "Oh no, I'll figure it out." And then he's like, "It's funny because he's mixing old technology and new technology." And now he's like, "Well, I just get this connection. I can hook up my iPhone to it,
Yeah.
and I can still record my own tape with this music." So it's pretty trippy.
Yeah, and I try to introduce Gavin to, like, anything that I liked when I was younger. Like, if he shows some type of interest in something that's similar, then I'd be like, "Oh, you like that? Well, let me show you this because this
Yeah.
is what I liked when I was a kid, and it's very similar to that."
Right.
And he'll take to it and be like, "Oh, that's awesome."
There you go.
So it's just crazy to just be able to introduce him to like stuff like that I was a kid when I was a kid, and that's why like playing Call of Duty with him is just like crazy because I played that 10 years ago when I was single and just fucking out there, and now to have my kid play the remastered version of something I played 10 years
Right.
ago, and he's not even 10 years old, it's like, damn, that's
Pretty
fucking
wild.
nuts.
Are you gonna do VR setups like, get him implemented into like, or even with your kid like, we did the VR what do you call it, Star Wars, and like I know you have the system VR here, but are you gonna like introduce your kids to like newer stuff that even you two are like, this just came out?
Well, I kind of attribute that to my dad a lot because my dad was always he liked like technology, he liked electronics, he liked all that shit. He would always have like, I remember having the Macintosh, you
Yeah.
know, like the first one,
The
and I
latest
was
and
like,
greatest
yeah,
back then.
the
Yeah.
latest
Yeah,
and
right?
greatest Macintosh,
Little
Apple
dot.
One and
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
Like, so I was always like ahead of like other kids as far as like technology was concerned. So I feel like I need to do that for Gavin as well. Like if I know that there's some new tech coming out,
Right.
then I'll get it.
But you're
Why
into
not?
it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as long as you're into it, I think it's one of those
exactly.
things that, yeah.
And I was fortunate enough as a kid to like my dad would be able to teach me about the new technology. So it was never like my dad was behind me, or like if I had like a computer assignment I had to do, it wasn't like my dad couldn't help me.
What is
because
that
he was
shit?
like-
I don't know what
Yeah,
that is. Yeah,
exactly.
he's
There's
like,
some parents who
Yeah.
be like, oh,
"Here." No.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to like, you know, have my dad in certain situations where it wasn't foreign to him,
Right.
you know. And I want to be able to have that ability with Gavin. Like, if there's some new shit that's coming out, like I'm already up on game on it. I could introduce him to it, you know, and then just be able to pass that down as far as like being ahead of the bar on new electronics technology, shit like that. Be able to pass that down. Like, okay, I'm gonna continue to learn this stuff so that you can have that same influence, and you know, when eventually when you have kids and those, you're that same type of person that just helps it.
Yeah, but kids are just smarter nowadays, I feel. You know,
Oh,
with
for
with
sure.
the whole internet too, it's like
Right.
I told my son, I have Vectorworks on my computer. I'm like, hey, look, your this week's project is for you to build a stage
He
on
did it like
Vectorworks.
5 minutes, some
Like,
shit like
the
that.
next day, dude. Next day, he had a fucking stage. He had a stage. He had drape in the back. He had
Yeah.
chairs. The whole thing. I was like, all right, that's cool.
That's dope.
yeah.
though.
But and it's all based off watching YouTube for a
Yeah,
5-minute
yeah.
tutorial and just did it, you know.
That's
And now it's
dope.
just getting him to do it more often. Well, that's a whole nother thing. But you
at
challenge
least you
him.
want to introduce it.
Yeah, you
And-
challenge them to do certain stuff, and they'll do it, and they'll be like, "All right, cool, I did it,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then they'll go on to the next thing. I feel to a
Do
certain
that with
degree.
cars too, or just?
He's not into cars. My little girl's more into cars.
Oh, okay.
And my son's like a homebody, super chill, very mellow. So he's into the video games and all that,
Same.
which I have zero complaints about.
Yeah.
Never had an issue with nothing. That he's been the most straightforward, awesome kid where I've never had any issues other than just like little bullshit.
Little, like,
just
around the
because
house
the
shit,
kids,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
kids
yeah,
talking and talking
Talking
too loud
shit.
to their
Yeah,
mouth
yeah.
or just
Was-
shit like that. But he was always very focused, which is one of the key things that
and
I
that's
love
how I
about
feel
him.
about Gab. Gab's like super chill. Like You leave him to his own devices, and
Yeah.
he'll get whatever
Yeah,
needs
yeah.
to be done.
He'll survive by himself.
Yeah,
It needs
my
to
daughter, she's fucking nuts.
Oh,
she's
Sai
gonna be
is fucking
ratchet.
crazy, man.
mine's the same way.
Well, I was
Yeah.
wondering, is the curiosity that you're glad the way your kids turn out the way they are is because you two grew up in like a crazy livelihood style that you thought that maybe your kid might turn out the same way too. You're like, ooh, I hope he doesn't become like me. But now that they are the way they are, you're like, oh God, I got this one pretty in the bag, right?
Yeah.
No, it's never in the bag.
no,
Unfortunately,
it's never in the
Yeah.
bag.
But you don't have to worry
It's
about
just-
gangs and like stuff
Well,
that you
that's-
guys went through.
But that's just based out of you trying to provide a better life for
Okay,
them
okay.
more than anything, you know.
You try not to inherit the sins of your fathers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously, like growing up, my dad, I mean, you know my dad, he was a businessman, but he had like, you know, as the family started, we were pretty bad. He ended up getting a great job, so we went little white collar and started getting better things, and then, you know, some shit went down. He gets, you know, he goes to jail, and we back down in the slumps. So we had like a pretty roller coaster of, you know, lifestyle. So once he goes to jail, we end up getting into like these, you know, rough patches with, you know, gangs, and, you know, my brother being introduced to that shit, and you know, living in poverty. So as a father, you want to help your kids not have to experience that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as I can keep Gavin in his room playing his video games and
Yeah.
learning different things,
Yeah.
and just you want
Teach them to work
yeah,
with their brain
exactly.
versus try to do work out on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm, okay.
That's the biggest thing.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
definitely want to do that.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I know what
sure
the streets
just,
have.
Yeah, we know what's out there, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
You
we're some of the luckies that are still up and about and are doing good.
Okay.
And okay, you know,
Exactly.
surviving.
And as long as I can continue to do that for my kids, then I'm going to continue to do
Yeah,
that.
no, for sure.
Okay. Nice.
That's what a father must do.
Oh yeah. try to better make their life better than what yours was at the end of the day. You know,
Absolutely.
Hey, I remember not having this, so I want to make sure that he has it. And
Yeah, yes.
And I've
And
seen
it's,
Gavin's room with all those toys, so I know he's got
Yeah, and-
way more than what you had as a kid.
But at the same time, like, yes,
But
we want to
teaching
give
them.
them everything,
But
and
teaching them.
yeah, but teaching them as well. Like, yo, I didn't have this, you have this. Appreciate it,
appreciate take care of it.
and yeah, and don't take advantage of it, like in a negative way. Don't take it for granted,
Mhm.
because the moment you do that, then you're just gonna fall into.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna fall into the bad shit. Like, because I have cousins who
Have kids.
who not that they have kids, but who were brought up like in a life of luxury, like for sure. Like,
Okay.
like the way that I'm bringing
Privileged.
up, yeah,
Okay.
incredibly privileged, like super privileged to where they can have it. They had a vehicle at 15, you know, like
Right,
they had a
right.
car at 15. They had, you know, anything that was given to them, any luxury would be afforded, and they ended up not doing well in life.
Yep.
Like
you
they
know?
turn out to be assholes,
Yeah.
or okay.
Not just
Okay.
that, but
No,
like
no,
just doing.
They get into deep
yeah.
shit and
Gotcha.
They get into
just
deep
weird
shit
shit just
because-
because they think they can do whatever and they'll just get out of it. you know?
Exactly,
And
so-
as they grow up, they get into deeper shit, and at a certain point, you're like, "What the fuck? You're a
Yeah,
grown man and
like,
fucking
dude, you were
locked up
given
for
everything.
bullshit."
How
Yeah.
could you let that happen to yourself? Like,
Yeah.
and
Gotcha.
so again,
Because
as
they don't work
fathers-
for it.
Yeah, and
It's
as
not
fathers, we
appreciated.
want to make sure that we give them everything, but
Give them as much as you can, but then also showing them to that you can take it away
yeah,
so that they
Power.
can appreciate.
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's just
Yeah.
more of the appreciation at the end of the day. I feel.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Life lessons when I become a father, I know what to do.
Yeah.
Be careful, Keenan, because
Time's running out for me. I know.
nah, you got plenty of time, man.
Do
Like,
I don't
yeah,
know.
absolutely. Like,
Maybe.
what? Sai is 3 years old. I mean, I'm 36. That's
Yeah, that means I should have had a kid 3 years ago.
no. That means you can have a.
I do some math.
No, that means you can have a child at at any time.
Yeah, you
dude.
got
Yeah.
Like if you and the more established you are, the easier it is. Like the better it potentially easier it is. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
they're
Don't treat it like my student loans.
we got to be like white people and not have
Like
kids
white
till
people?
like
White
later in life.
Okay.
So you've done everything that you've needed to do in your life.
You got
so-
everything out of your system. Now you can concentrate on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Is
don't
it-
know. Maybe I haven't got everything out of my system. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
I know
don't
you
know
still
why.
have you still have so many drugs that you need to do, Keenan. Come on. You need to just get out there, man. Do the psychedelics, do the uppers, do the downers. Just get out there, Keen. You have no responsibilities. You can do that. You can travel. You can get on a plane.
Go D somewhere. You know?
Go to- yeah.
No, I don't know about that. But I mean, you can legit travel anywhere you wanted if you really
Yeah.
wanted to.
Backpack, all that.
Can
stuff,
I
you know,
really
some people-
travel at this time with COVID and all that stuff?
Well,
You can do a road trip.
You could do a road trip. You could travel
That's
the
what
country.
everybody's doing, yeah.
Well, when I get my car fixed,
There you go.
I will fuck up that Nissan
There you
more
go.
and take it on the road.
When I get my car fixed,
Yeah.
dude.
Actually, that would have been great. I mean, I was on the road right before COVID to go on a trip with the band Raised on TV to different venues. That was also one of my checklists on my dream thing was
On your
to
bucket list.
go on tour. Yeah, with anything, any band, and just go. I wish I had that opportunity with Joe and did it. But I finally had the opportunity, and I had my car, even though I was working. But it would have been perfect if, I had whatever I had now with no COVID, because I would be out the door.
Right.
Something
it was
about-
COVID just
yeah.
popping up, fucking everything
Lame,
up.
yeah.
Something about work, I just like we all said in the earlier show, I'm that worker bee, so I wouldn't really take a lot of time off work to go on this tour or to go travel to places like Monday through Friday. Then the weekend's my weekend, and that's it.
What's a weekend?
I know.
Or even that.
Yeah.
I'm super guilty of notoriously not taking vacations
Oh, yeah.
and taking
Yeah.
time
Yeah, no.
off. Like literally, like COVID is the longest I've not
too.
done anything
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
Like
Exactly.
It's crazy.
The only vacation I take is the forceful one on Christmas and Thanksgiving, and even then I would probably work that day.
yeah, you
Or
get
the
like
day
a couple
before.
days off, but
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah, no, we were for the most part working.
yeah, dude.
Even
like,
that time, maybe a couple days, at the most 2 days,
yeah,
3 days.
Yeah.
Even like New Year is not a holiday. Like
No.
no,
Yeah.
you're doing something New Year for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I would be nice to do that. Maybe I would. Maybe it'll be a celebration when I get my car fixed. I take it somewhere that's past Utah, because I've never been. I've been to Washington D.C. once, and Oklahoma City once, and that's it. I haven't been. I would love to go to Miami or New York, or New York's my somewhat dream city. So
Just
you know,
dirty.
nobody wants to go to Miami. Maybe like the younger single kids, but Miami has nothing to offer you, man. It's fucking hot. and
Florida in general
humid
has
and
nothing
just,
unless you're a
jeez.
Disney guy or
It's the
Disney.
absolute worst. Yeah, yeah, unless
If you're Disney, you do Disney World, and even
In
Disney
Orlando.
World might be just too much sometimes.
I would go for the Latin women.
Oh, well,
I've heard
there you
stories
go.
about the Latin women in Miami, so I'm like,
Miami is a very superficial city, just so you
Yeah.
know.
God damn it.
If you got deep pockets, then yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
go to Miami for the
Yeah,
women.
they
for
got
sure.
you.
shit.
They will be on you, no problem.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then
Okay, well, not Miami, but maybe New York. I would like to at least see New York once.
New York's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But that's,
my
what is that, a week-long drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 4 days.
In a car, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
Like straight
Depending on
driving
how-
for 4 days?
Yeah, sleeping for a night.
you just have to be
Okay.
You know.
I never really knew that time zone. Is it like 8-hour drive for 4 days straight, or is it 4 days, like 24-hour driving?
I want to say it's like 40-something hours
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
total drive
Like a
time. But
legit
then if you
drive.
really think about how many hours you drive and then you gas up,
Right,
every time
right.
you gas
Gas
up
up,
is anywhere
eat.
30 minutes.
Eat.
Yeah,
something like that.
unless you're just gonna eat and drive.
Yeah.
Without stopping in a
I
restaurant.
would like to try it. Would you go on this road trip with me, Joe?
I don't have the luxury of being able to take that much time off.
Damn it. All right. Well,
You
shout
gotta do
out.
it next week before COVID.
I know. Should have done it while COVID was happening.
But my car wasn't working by then, and I didn't even meet you. But to all of our listeners out there, whoever wants to go on a road trip with the co-host of the Number of Business podcast, I'm up for it.
There you go.
To New York. Road trip to New York.
And with that, we have come to the soapbox portion of our show.
Hey.
For those of
Yo.
you just tuning in, the soapbox portion of this show is where each speaker, each guest and host gets an opportunity to speak on whatever they want to speak on, whether it's shouting something out, promoting yourself, promoting someone else, venting, anything you want to speak on. You get an unspecified amount of time to speak on it uninterrupted. Usually, if it's just Keenan and I, Keenan will go first. But since we have a guest today, we have
Very
Juan.
special guest. Joe's mentor.
Juan, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Hey, this has been fantastic.
Awesome.
Yep.
You get an opportunity to start the soapbox. Anything you want to speak on, feel free to speak on. Then Keenan will take it and I'll close it out.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy shit we're living in right now, and hopefully the sooner we get out of this, we'll return to some type of normalcy. So all we can really do is fucking take care of one another as best as we can until we get over this shit. And we'll figure out what the new normal will be when that happens and what we can develop out of this and what we've learned between, people like me and Joe that we've never had this much time with our families, and we're like, oh shit, what the fuck, what have we been missing? So hopefully after this is all over, we've become better people because of it. So that's about it, man. Hopefully we can.
Nice, short and sweet.
Nice.
Informative, insightful.
Yes.
Love it.
Way to go. Mine's going to be a very 30-minute long rant. So
Go for it.
be ready for it.
Keenan, hit us with your soapbox.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you,
Juan.
Yep.
Got it. It's going to take me a while to remember it. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for providing me with that information. It almost like two soapboxes because I want to talk about connections and meeting up with people because Joe knew you for how long? And did
Something
you
like
know?
that, yeah.
Did you know he worked on cars for that amount of time?
Yeah, I did.
And you didn't tell me, and you knew my car was broken. Fuck you, Joe. That's what I'm talking about. I can't ask him for anything.
There you go.
Any help? He knows the information. He knows it.
He's
and
just
he's
holding
like,
back.
fuck
He
Keenan.
just wants you to suffer.
Yeah. He literally would see my car taken apart and be like, hey, what are you gonna do, my guy? That's what. Yeah. I'm just Joe out here. Whatever. I know everything and everybody, and I can help you out. I could have my car fixed in like 2 months. And he could have showed me how to do it.
Yep.
And I could have paid him a couple $100.
Whoa, wait a minute.
No, I will pay for my parts and the learning experience, but definitely hopefully under $3,000 because that's how much it costs. So much it costs to get it replaced. But
Where'd you go? They're trying to charge you so much.
a transmission spot in the valley on Reseda. They specifically do only transmission. I haven't asked. There's like 4 transmission places right by my house.
Yeah.
I haven't asked them yet. But after that first bid, I was like, damn, they might all be. And I asked a friend, mechanic. Okay, whatever, mechanic.
Right. There it is.
Mechanic.
Keenan, your dyslexia is showing.
I need a mirror.
Get a
My
mirror,
voice. Yeah. He said it's around the same price, $800 for labor and another amount for programming, and then the transmission itself is like $1,500, stuff like that. So, but yeah, fuck you, Joe. I'm glad I know you, and instead of going on a rant about connections and contacts, we can talk about in another episode. I really wanted to get it on a segment or a topic that Siobhan brought up about not voting that I agreed with the aspect of if you don't vote, you can't complain about who got in. And I did agree with that, and I wanted to extend it out to everything because that analogy that's used for that, if you're so wholeheartedly believed in that, should be used for everything else you don't make a choice on. So, and to keep her in frame of mind, since that was the person I'm referencing, she did mention something about the struggles of not finding a man or contacting this dude that she was into. And I wish I could have added at that moment, you can't really complain about your struggles of men if you're not taken that choice to contact them
Yeah.
or put yourself out there. So not just for politics, but for anything in life, if you don't, you have a choice for pretty much everything. You have a choice to make kids, you know, you have a choice to be a father, so to speak. You have a choice to eat or ask somebody out, or you have a choice whether or not to do good or bad at your job. Yet I've heard tons of people complain about all that stuff without even making the choice. So I like to extend that excuse that I agreed with about voting, that if you don't use the opportunity to make a choice, you cannot complain about the outcome. And that's my soapbox.
There you go. It's true.
Keenan, you complain about everything.
As I do. But do I make the choices that put me in that situation where I complain about it? I want to say I do. But maybe I don't. I probably don't. Fuck it.
No, you do. You're your own worst enemy.
I am.
Aren't we all?
Yes. Take us home, Joe.
I'm already home, so I don't know
I'm
where
so
I'm
sorry.
going to take you.
Wait, Joe.
Go
I forgot my usual. Thank you to all the listeners for listening. I went to my room real quick. Thank you for listening. Now that I met one of our listeners, thank you for listening to our show.
Thank you.
Please spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell the people at the hospital when you're getting yourself checked for COVID. Tell your Uber driver, your Lyft driver, anybody you come in contact with, whether it's sexually or friendly, or even if you're taking out the trash, your garbage man, the homeless man you don't want to give $1 to, tell them about our podcast. People who, you don't even like, tell them about it as like a punishment for listening to us. Tell them about our show. But yeah, spread the word. Thanks for listening. And yes, Joe.
Thank you, Keenan.
I want to do that every time. I forgot. I almost forgot.
Juan, I want to thank you for coming on. I don't speak on it a lot because I don't know. I'm just I'm very I'm not a private person, but I'm an internal person when it comes to like with with certain things. But yeah, you've definitely been a mentor to me. I've really only ever had 3 people who I feel have bestowed any type of knowledge or guidance in my life. And you're definitely one of those people. I hold you in high esteem.
Thank you.
I have peers, and then I have people who I look up to and I consider teachers, and you've become a great friend. Like you were a client that gave me an opportunity to prove myself, and I think over the years we've become pretty good friends.
Good friends.
And I appreciate that. And like I said, you've taught me a lot, so I really appreciate you being on here.
Thank you,
and
man.
just knowing that you were a fan, that you listened to the show. I know we were doing a show in San Francisco, and I was like, oh man, listen to the pod. And you were like, you have a podcast? Put this shit on.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, the tight, he's gonna listen to it. That's cool. And then knowing that you continued to listen and like actually like.
No, it was awesome. Same thing. It's like once he told me, and I just started, every time I'd go to the garage, do something, turn it on, just listen to you guys.
Does it feel
good
weird
stuff,
that you're here? Like, is it trippy?
No, because we're just chilling, talking.
Yeah, that's all we do. See?
It's not a. Oh my God, I'm on the
this
podcast.
this
It's
is
just
what
hanging
it
out.
is.
I want you to idolize me.
There you go. Can I have your autograph?
But yeah, and again, I appreciate that because it says a lot about you for just saying, hey, put that on,
Yeah,
and
let's
then
go for it,
continue to listen to it. It's like, because this is a show that's dear to Keenan and I's heart. Like we take a lot of pride in this show.
Yeah.
We've done a lot. I mean, this is our 90th episode.
Oh, it's
I
awesome.
know. 10
So,
more.
Exactly. 10 more, we'll have 100. But and we've tried to grow this show. Like we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for investors. We're trying to make this show, eventually become something greater,
Something bigger,
than
yeah.
what it is. So, and I think for what it is right now, and the amount of listeners we have, which we love, I think we've really grown, and we've had turbulent times, and the show has had its ups and downs, but there's been definitely more ups than downs. And if it wasn't for COVID, I mean, we would have had live shows. That's
That was the plan already.
That's a
That was the
step.
plan.
That was the next step. We were going to be doing live shows. So, unfortunately, we can't do live shows right now.
But you're doing more shows now.
I mean, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which are just shows. But eventually, once we're able to start doing live events
Yeah,
again,
for sure.
the hope is for this show to actually, maybe every season finale we do a live show where
Yeah,
the
that'd
audience
be
can
cool.
come in and participate.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I know a part of this show is people who listen to the show always want to comment on it and say, yeah, no, they're
Shut the
fucking
fuck up,
wrong
Keenan.
about that. No, they want to correct us or they want to agree with us. So the next step is naturally having a live event
Yeah.
where people can actually do that.
Interact.
Exactly. So that's hopefully that's something that happens in the near future.
Yeah, for
Once
sure.
we're able to do this. And again, thank you for coming on.
Awesome.
My soapbox is basically just try to surround yourself. Try to surround yourself with people who are going to help improve you. Again, I've been fortunate enough to have 3 people that have like put me on a bigger onto my next
Your next level.
level. Yeah, I didn't want to say it like that, but yeah,
Yeah.
to my next level.
Yeah.
And you've been one of those. And I just want to remind people that you want to find somebody. Yes, you have your peers, you have your friends, you have your close friends who are basically your same circle. Like Keenan, I love you. You're one of my oldest friends.
I'm
And
the
of
oldest
course.
friend. I'm your
Yeah,
oldest
you're
friend.
my oldest. Okay. I mean, I know some people who I've known longer, but yeah, they're not as close to me
That's
as you are.
close. Yep.
But yeah, you have your peers, you have your people who you get along with, who kind of you want to surround yourself to help you grow, and you also want to find people like yourself that are going to actually put you, as far as your career is concerned, and your understanding on your livelihood, who are going to help you get to that level. So you just want to find people that are like that. Because eventually you're gonna become that person as well to somebody else.
Yeah.
Or that's the goal, to be that person
yeah,
to
pass
someone
your
else.
knowledge off to the next
Pass your
person.
knowledge on to somebody else, and just have that wholeheartedness of being able to say, hey, yeah, without even thinking of like, oh, what am I gonna benefit off of this? Like, no, you're just like passing on the knowledge of saying, hey, man, I know this too. Let me help you get to that next step.
Yep.
So just try to surround yourself. And if we all have toxic people. I think I'm a toxic person sometimes because I like to get wild and have fun but in the end I always come back and say, yo, I can be crazy and fun, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty and I have to get serious, we'll get serious. So it's cool to have party friends and people who are just crazy and out there, but you also want to find people who are going to help ground you and help you advance.
Yep.
So if you can find that person, or if you have found that person, try to hold on to that person. Try to get closer to that person, because that person, they're getting better, and a lot of times these type of people want to find somebody who they can impart their wisdom to and
Help you grow.
and help you grow, because without any expectations, they might do this, and you might grow and be able to help them in situations that they get into. So yeah, just be good to the people who are good to you, you know?
Yep, for sure.
That's my soapbox. That's my soapbox.
Nice.
And with that,
Snap it.
this has been episode 90 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your hosts, Keenan and Joe. Special guest this week, Juan Salguero from Unmatched Lighting.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Ah, jeez, what the heck, Keenan? Are you having spasms? Are you okay? Are you okay, pal? Jeez.
I'm having a heart attack. Eat your woman out.
Suck your man's dick.
Take care of each other.
Hey.